WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Who wants that? Like, who wants that? I don't. Well, good morning. It's Friday, the final Friday of 2025 for the month of May.
I'll tell you, after Megan did the news, we had a little conversation, and Davey was a part of this too. And I think Megan or Davey said, well, at least it's Friday. And I went, oh, it is.
It is Friday.
It's Friday. I've had such a miserable week. I don't want to get into it, but I'll throw it out there so that I can, evoke some sympathy from the audience.
Has it been delivery or umpiring?
Personal.
Oh, personal.
Ooh. I will say,
are you going down there? Are we going to discuss like the
No.
the light hit stations do? So I had this problem, and my wife hated the fact that I wore my socks to bed. Do you wear your socks to bed, or do you go without socks? Get your calls in now.
Oh, that's so good.
Bob over in Cleveland, New York, says he always wears his socks to bed. Just got that on an email. Bob is real, for those who are wondering.
You need to over-enunciate your words more if we're going to do a real
That's true.
FM morning show.
And I should say, because we have all these people that are like, I'm constantly saying Lance and Lee says this, and Bob and Clinton says this, and Deeds in New Hartford says this. These are all real people.
Yeah.
Trust me, I couldn't think of the mean things they say. But
Good morning, Lance.
I really do wonder why, listening to some of these FM shows, not here, of course. Never here.
No, not.
But some of these shows, when they're going off, and it's like, there's
That's a good one,
some
though.
incredible scenario, right? The classic is, do you wear socks to bed or don't you?
That is so true.
I want to tell you something, and this is real. This is real, and I'm going to tell you this. Since, I don't know, the age of 50. I'm 50. Since, that's my little SNL, that woman.
Oh.
We saw her speak. She's very funny. Molly. Molly.
Is it Vernon? Verna?
No.
Molly.
Davey, what's her name from SNL? I should know.
Molly Shannon?
Molly Shannon. We saw her speak at my daughter's graduation. So, anyway, this is real. And it's funny this is being brought up because this is something you'd hear on a light hits station. Not ours in particular with like 98.7. But my wife does. My wife bundles up. She's got socks and pajamas and whatever. She wears it all.
To go to bed?
Yeah. I'm a let's get into bed type person.
Yeah.
So, since turning 50, every once in a while I'll get towards the end of the week, and now with this medicine, it's like, it's almost every other day. I have to take at least like a 20-minute nap. And there are a couple of different ways you can take a nap. You can just lay there, and I could fall asleep. And I'd be like, oh, my God, there's a stoplight. And so you got to be careful. You have to be careful. Or you can lay down, and you can just, maybe on the couch or something, the room is normally lit. Or you can go into the bedroom and pull the sun-blocking shades and make it dark.
Yeah.
The problem with making it dark, if you sleep beyond 20 to 30 minutes for a nap, you go into a deeper sleep, and you wake up like, oh, my God, am I late for work? You're all completely confused.
Yes.
Now, I know this sounds really weird, but when I take a nap, I have made it and this has been for about 10 years. When I take a nap, I wear my socks so that when I realize my socks are on, I'm like, oh, this is just a nap.
Are you serious?
Honest to God.
Wow.
So I don't go through that even though it isn't the end of the world, but you get that real scared, like, oh my God, where am I? What time is it? So I wear my socks, and the minute I'm like, oh God, I have my socks on. Now, I get bombed some night, wear my socks to bed, I ain't coming to work. I think it's a nap, and I'm just gonna roll back over. But now so that's when I do wear socks for that.
Get your calls in now, 736-0186.
Do you wear your socks to bed?
Do you wear your socks while you nap? That's our twist on it. Now, please don't call with that garbage.
No,
but can I just tell you this?
But it is kind of interesting, right? You find these little fixes, these little hacks in your life as time goes on, and you really wouldn't share them. Nobody else is going to do what you do, but it's how you are able to figure out your own life, and sometimes that's crazy.
I envision a scene from something like my cousin Vinny, and it's like, well, how did you know it was only 2:30 in the afternoon? And it's, well, because I woke up from my nap and I only wear socks during my.
That's exactly
during my naps.
it. That's exactly it.
Well,
Welcome to my life.
I will tell you this real quick. We have certain times a year. I think it's when we're entering fall and exiting spring. There's a couple times a year where the sun, if it's like 7:00, the amount of daylight that's available is the same at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. And don't quote me on the exact time of year, but this has happened many times.
Well, it probably is coming up real soon in the month of June, because the longer days of sunlight are the.
But it's still bright and sunny at 7 p.m. in June.
It is, yeah.
So my point being, there are times where I would wake up where I used to love a nap. I don't get to take them anymore. It's probably why these bags under my eyes. But I used to love a nap, and sometimes I would take a nap and it would be asleep, right? So I would doze off at 2.
That's why they say not to go past like 35 minutes.
I'd wake up at 10 of 7 or something, and I would go just based on the amount of daylight coming into the windows, and I'd be like, and there have been times where I've jumped up, gotten, thrown my shirt on, and driven to the radio station thinking I was an hour late for the morning show.
Wear your socks. Okay?
Thank you.
Solves the whole problem.
Professional tip right there.
I know it sounds stupid. I know, and it just dawned on me, making fun of somebody else. Just dawned on me. That's what I do, and it is what it is. It is what it is.
So we turned that into a whole segment.
We did. I don't know how. After we mocked the other stations for doing it, but you know what? It's okay if it's organic, Jeff.
Oh, okay.
That's the key. Hurricane season is officially getting underway this weekend. They say it's going to be a bad one. I feel like every time they say it's going to be a really bad one, it isn't. We'll see.
I agree.
Willie Waffle coming up in a few in studio. The executive director of the Thea Bowman House. They're the beneficiaries of the mayor's. Is he calling it a gala or the mayor's gala this weekend, which is going to be quite an event. And Davey, you will be there.
Yes, I will be making an appearance tomorrow night.
Yeah, he's doing like a page 6 type thing for us. He's going to report on all the people and what they're doing at the mayor's gala. Habaika's free money question of the day. We'll get to that this morning. How much is it worth today, Davey?
$300.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
$300. Andrew is on this morning to chat via phone. He has. So I wanted to get somebody else to go net speed. I had more calls on this yesterday, and I wanted to, because we had the guy in yesterday, the rep in again, and they're moving into New Hartford now. Adding the Go Net Speed fiber optic internet. And I had a few people say, well, I had it and it wasn't fast. Well, then you have a technical problem. You got to call them and say, this has to be fixed.
Okay.
And they'll fix it, because you should be lightning fast up and down. I mean, fiber optic is a completely different world. We've been living with what we thought was fast with high-speed internet, spectrum internet, and that is not consistent, and it's not fast. Fiber is fast. So anyway, Andrew's had it for about 6 months.
Okay.
So I want to get his take on it. Is it worth it? And by the way, you're spending a lot less on go net speed than you would on Spectrum. That's a biggie right there.
That's a shocker.
Ben Simons, local farmer, talks about the planting issues, and there are some big problems right now with all of this rain. We'll get to that coming up. Manaski's in for a while this morning. We have to make the most of you because you'll be gone a little early today. So, and on the line right now, Evan Brown from Fox News Radio. Evan, good morning.
Good morning.
So we feel like we've been, if this continues again next year, we're going to start calling it the rainy season. We have had nothing but, it has not, this is an interesting statistic for us in upstate New York. Since, I believe, the second weekend in November, it has either rained or snowed, and we had a huge snow year this year, big amounts. It has either rained or snowed on the weekend every weekend since November. And we've got another 2-day rain out this weekend.
And Evan, just to be clear here, don't let Bill make you think that it's been all sunshine and rainbows Monday through Friday.
It's not.
And the rain rolls in. It's like rained all week, including the weekends, ever since, like you said, since
like
November.
Upstate New York to me. Yeah,
It does.
I did a year in Oswego, and I remember from October to, I want to say, April, it was just gray. And I remember, walking through 8 feet of snow just to get from one building to the next. But
so you went to school at you and Al Roker at Oswego.
I assumed a probation violation when he said I did a year.
Well, let me tell you.
Well, he was kind of both. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's that wind off the lake. I mean, it's just so
I quite
cold.
remember it. Yeah, I remember that. I live in Florida for a reason now. That's
well, good for you. You should be very proud of that. Now, we'll, in upstate New York, try to make ourselves feel better by saying, but we don't have to deal with these hurricanes you have to deal with. And
we don't have to deal with nor'easters. But
that is true.
Your mileage may vary. So
it is true.
Hurricane season begins in the Atlantic on Sunday, and it's expected to be another doozy. Now, here's something that doesn't get that much attention. The Pacific hurricane season began May 15th, and there's already a tropical storm in the Pacific. It's off the coast of Mexico. It's going to make a lot of rain in Baja California. It's probably not going to affect the southeast U.S. too much, but they could still get a significant amount of rain in Arizona or Nevada, a place that really the ground can't handle it. So it actually does pose some risks there. But the Atlantic season is usually what gets more attention because those are the storms that end up pummeling, the entire eastern part of the United States in some way or another. And we are expecting an above-average activity season, 13 to 19 named storms, of which 6 to 10 will become hurricanes, and of which 3 to 5 will become major hurricanes, which is Category 3 or stronger. And so the dance picks up again. Here we go. So it's a matter of being prepared. And, if there's anything that we learned from last year, it's that hurricane category, which is, something that delineates wind speed. That's fun when you're doing the whole tracking thing and you're glued to the TV watching the storm. But, Western North Carolina learned that rain from what used to be a hurricane. Can be incredibly dangerous and disastrous and life-threatening. And that had nothing to do with wind speed or category at that point. That had to do with the amount of rain.
I mean, they thought they were out of the woods, right? They thought that they'd gotten through.
They didn't think. They thought they wouldn't get anything from a hurricane because
it was so far inland too. Yeah,
so far inland, and we don't get the wind. Well, the wind didn't matter in that case. It had to do with a storm, storm system full of moisture that was able to deposit it in one area very quickly and very ferociously. And we've all seen the pictures. So,
it is easy to say, and I kind of jokingly said it earlier, whenever they say there are going to be a lot of hurricanes, it's almost always there isn't. But that's really not true. I mean, they're pretty darn accurate.
NOAA and the Climate Prediction Center and the National Hurricane Center gotten very, very good at this. They're very often very correct in their seasonal forecasts, and they've gotten so much better with the track forecasts. The track. Everyone talks about the cone. The cone represents the error in the forecast over time. We think it's going to be here, but it could be anywhere between here and here at this given point in time. And by saying it's going to be here, let's talk about the center of the storm. Well, the storm is 300 miles wide. If it wobbles 20 miles one way or the other, it's not a big difference. So the point is that they have made so many improvements with that technology that it's very, very accurate, and it has saved lives. We know that. But is it perfect? No, it'll never be 100% perfect. But it's a tool that we all have, and even in far upstate New York, you might get the remnants of a tropical cyclone.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. We almost always do. If it hits Florida or the Carolinas, it's almost always makes its way over to us, and we get 3-4 days of heavy rain. Which would have, which changes a forecast that was looking like it was going to be sunny, and we get the washout part of it. So it does affect us as well. There's no doubt. So, all right. Well, listen, you are in a better place. I'm just telling you, Evan. You are.
Yes, I am.
All right. We appreciate the time. You have a wonderful day and a great weekend.
You too. Take care.
Thanks so much. Evan Brown from Fox News Radio. Coming up, let's do news and get into a few things. Willie Waffle has a whole bunch to get to, and we'll do that. Manansky has put it out there. He's had a personal issue this weekend.
Oh, an issue? I wish it was an issue.
It's that. It's not. It's worse than an issue? Oh, boy. Well, I think we got to talk about it. We'll hit it on the other side of this at WIBX.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update, brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office responded to a fully involved barn fire in Floyd yesterday. Authorities say a party drove by the Cemetery Road barn around 9:30 a.m. and notified authorities of the blaze. The barn was fully involved and had spread to a nearby milk house. To protect the public, Cemetery Road between Rabbit Road and Phillips Road was closed. Authorities say no one was inside the barn or suffered injuries, as the owners were not home at the time. Unfortunately, 2 horses and 8 calves were killed. 1 calf survived. Other dairy cows that weren't near the fire are being brought by friends, family, and neighbors to other locations. The cause of the fire remains under investigation by Rome Fire Department. Regular marijuana use is linked to early signs of cardiovascular disease. New research out of the UC San Francisco finds that using THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, caused some disruption in the inner lining of the blood vessels. That's whether the THC was smoked or ingested. The effect could lead to an increased risk of heart attack, stroke, or cardiovascular disease. Researchers note there's no proof that THC caused the problem, only that users of THC have poorer vascular function. Millennials and Gen Z are Googling basic life skills in record numbers as they move into adulthood. Tammy Trujillo has details.
The search engine told Axios that questions such as how to use a mop, how to set up autopay, and how to do an oil change are at all-time highs this year. Studies point out that schools are dropping classes like home ec that train students in practical life skills. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
And a penthouse loft that became famous in the classic film Psycho can now be yours for about $2 million. The loft was built in 1930 on the roof of an 11-story high-rise in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. It has 2 beds, 2.5 baths, and a scenic view of the Phoenix skyline. It also comes with a gym, a pool, and valet parking. Fans of director Alfred Hitchcock will recognize the loft from the iconic opening scenes of the 1960 horror classic Psycho. And if you have the money, you can now live there. The Psycho loft is on the market for $2.2 million. Your Weather Center forecast is coming up next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Another area of low pressure coming in, and that means more wet weather possible and cool temperatures. Next week's going to be nice, at least through midweek, I promise. So we'll get through the next couple of days, and then we'll have some better weather. Today's not going to be terrible. Some partial sunshine, 75. Showers tonight, late 53. 40s North Country. A few showers, thunderstorms, 60 tomorrow. Chance of showers Sunday, 60. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM at 92.3 FM.
Well, right now we're looking at, for the most part, overcast skies, and we'll get some partly sunny skies through the day today, as Ray said. And we're currently in at 55 degrees. So, but it's nice, as Ray says, it's going to be a really nice week next week for the most part through the middle of the week. Temperatures up into the 80s. But get ready for 50s and rain Saturday and Sunday. Not fun. All right, Manansky with his story of trauma coming right up at WIBX.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code DRIVE for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code DRIVE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code DRIVE.
In a world full of impressions, clicks, and empty promises, your trades business needs more than marketing. At Ignite Home Services, we fuel the trades.
If you're grinding every day but stuck on a plateau, Ignite Home Services is your secret lead generation weapon.
We're not just a marketing company. We are the lead generation experts for the trades. HVAC, plumbing, roofing, you name it. We run hundreds of campaigns built to deliver real, measurable growth.
We don't chase clicks, we chase results. Powered by Pipeline Pro, our AI-backed lead tracking system.
Preferred media partners with Service Titan, Roofle, Chirp, and yes, we partner with Google.
We're tech-driven, human-led, ROI obsessed.
So if your residential business is ready to break through the noise, visit igniteinhome.com. That's igniteinhome.com. And let's fuel the trades.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
This is important. I think there's absolute truth to it. This comes from some guy in the 315 who says, fiber, this is off our YouTube channel this morning, and you can check it out. Just search Keeler Livestream on YouTube. It's free. High definition. And the actual shot makes me look a little bit taller, usually when I'm sitting. Fiber is only as fast as your slowest piece in your network. So that is true. And we had somebody yesterday saying, I got it. It was no faster than Spectrum, and I wasn't impressed. Well, then you probably have something going on in your network. Or it could be your AOL computer from 25 years ago is not cutting the mustard.
Yeah, or, for instance, if you have, now if I understand this correctly, if you have Wi-Fi in the house.
Wi-Fi will be slower than going in direct.
Right, but if you have, because I had this issue, and I still deal with Spectrum for my internet. What's the thing I'm thinking of, Bill? Help me out here. My modem or my
router?
My modem or my router. I'm not sure which one. But so,
well, your modem's going to come from Spectrum.
Okay, my router controls my Wi-Fi.
Your router is what your router is most likely what either you have purchased or you could use theirs.
Okay,
and it allows you to distribute to maybe a wireless router, which can distribute through Ethernet, but also through wirelessly, and that wirelessly will be slower significantly than what you're getting, and really you could have 2 gigabit speed on your internet, and if your router can only handle 1 gigabit,
that was the issue.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
That was the issue,
and that's what he's saying. Even if you had a 10 gigabit internet, 10 gigabit internet, you can only go as fast as your modem can handle.
Exactly.
And oh, by the way, your iPhone has a max speed, and it's not going to be 2 gigabytes per second.
Gotcha.
So, however, That is true. However, what I get with what you're not going to get with GoNet Speed is what I get with Spectrum. And that is 1 minute I'm getting 380 megabytes per second, and things are uploading exactly the way I want them. You know, I'm uploading a 1.5 gigabyte TV show, 30-minute TV show. And it's going well. And all of a sudden it slows to a snail's pace and ultimately takes me like 4 hours to do it. That's awful. And then another time of day I could do it with Spectrum and it'll go quickly. That you're not going to get with GoNet Speed because it'll be it's constant. And that's what fiber can offer you. The other part of this, some guy in the 315, is for my work stuff, I plug in directly to the router.
Gotcha.
So I'm getting almost twice, and when you do that versus Wi-Fi,
yeah,
it can be almost like, in my case, like twice as fast. So, yeah, it is what it is. But, you know, ultimately, you can sit there and do your speed check and be like, look what I'm getting, 680 megabytes per second. But isn't what you really want to be able to watch your programming, get on your phone, get on your iPad or whatever, without having it spin? Yeah. Isn't that what you really want?
And we call that buffering, Bill.
And if you can get away without buffering, then I guess that's what the goal is. Now, some guy in the he's continuing. It's also hard to notice the difference between a gig and even 400 megabytes per second. I think you're probably right. Only real way to test is running a speed test, which we do. And here's the other part of this: is run your speed test in your den, then go to your kitchen and run a speed test. It's going to be different.
Yeah.
You have internet in your backyard. Go out to your backyard, run your speed test. Chances are it's going to be lower than what it was.
Sure.
Upstairs, and maybe you have a wall that has something in it that is causing some interference. So in different parts of your house, you'll end up getting something that's much different. So there you go. That's our little acknowledgement of some guy in the 315 who I believe is correct. However, I'm still getting this service. On the line right now, the man with the plan, the one and only Willie Waffle. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Have I got a story for you this morning?
I like it.
Yeah, oh, my God. The perverts are rejoicing across the planet right now. You all are familiar with Miss Sydney Sweeney, one of the hottest actresses out there as far as her career.
Well,
and she's a very attractive young lady.
I am. She's going to be here next weekend.
Oh, God. This is going to be perfect.
For the Boxing Hall of Fame, she is the Grand Master of...
the Grand Marshal.
The Grand Marshal. I'm thinking Master. I don't know why. The Grand Marshal.
Wow, she is gorgeous.
Oh, she's something.
I'm not familiar with her. I feel better. I'm
you
not
really
a pervert.
are. You've probably seen a movie or two.
I'll be there.
She is... There's your pervert, Willie. There he is.
Well, get ready. So, for those of you who know, she is the spokesperson for a certain soap company, and I'm not going to name them because they don't pay me to advertise them.
Okay. All right.
And in a recent commercial, she was very alluringly in a bathtub taking a bubble bath.
Okay.
Well, they have collected the water from the bathtub.
Oh, I saw this morning. I can't believe it.
They're putting it into the soap. You're going to be able to buy Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soap, and I think it's next Friday actually when it comes out.
I saw this morning, and I'm thinking that's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. And the only people that are going to be interested in that are people she does not want around her.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was worried about. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind, because I'm crazy, I would not want my DNA out there. Not in today's day of society.
No.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be a lot of DNA in the soap, but we just don't know what, we don't need a Jurassic Park situation.
Well, if you're gonna clone anybody, I think she'd be a good specimen. I'm just saying.
That's true.
That I saw that. That is just so. And in the deep dark porn world, they go down that road and they sell stuff from their movies and all the. But I've never I've never, ever, ever heard of selling bathwater. The thing is, for a soap company to do this, it sounds so porn-like.
Well, I think it accomplished their goal. They wanted attention, and they're going to get it.
Yeah, they are.
Plus, it's going to be a limited edition. There's only so much bathwater to put into so much soap, right? So, the thing that I'm worried about is how much money they're going to make off of this thing.
I know.
They're not going to sell it for the normal bar of soap price.
Right.
And then it's going to go. Then it's going to go on eBay and everywhere else where people are going to be driving up the price, and you're about to see everything that's wrong with society today.
I think you're right.
This one story happening next week.
I think you're absolutely right. You're gonna have. I can see Davey running out to the parade road and being, "Can you sign my bar of soap, please? Sign my bar of soap."
By the way, I have backwash coffee here, and I'm only asking $4.99. $4.99 for what's left in this glass.
Yeah,
a cup. Excuse me, it's a cup.
That is that's
a mug.
A disturbing story. Okay, what else this week? So let's start with, is there anything worth getting into in theaters this week?
Listen, I think we have to talk about Karate Kid Legends, right?
Okay.
They're bringing back, they're teaming up Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. You would think this sounds great. It's going to be all sorts of nostalgia and fun, and it's everything but that. They bring in Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, but they really kind of aren't in the movie for half of it. Let's be honest. So, it's about a kid. He suffered a tragedy. He and his mother are moving from China to New York to start a new life, to get away from the tragedy. And then, of course, he becomes the picked on kid. It's almost exactly like Karate Kid's storyline. The young girl in the neighborhood falls for him. Of course, her ex-boyfriend is the big karate bad guy from the evil dojo in town. Oh, and there's going to be a tournament, and he's going to have to win the tournament in order to save the day. And to actually get that far, he's going to need training from his old kung fu master Jackie Chan, and Jackie Chan decides he also needs help from the Karate Kid Ralph Macchio. And it's a very maudlin movie. I mean, I keep comparing it to Cobra Kai. Like, Cobra Kai was fun. Cobra Kai was,
a lot of people like that. Yeah.
It was fun. It was exciting. And this just drags. It's very poorly put together. I mean, it just feels like a series of clips all kind of mashed together. It doesn't flow. It doesn't tell the story very well. I'm really at 1.5 waffles for Karate Kid Legends.
Wow. What about, I'd forgotten all about this story, but no one ever thought Tylenol would survive because of the Tylenol, the tainted Tylenol story back in it was the 80s, right?
Yeah, it was 82.
Yeah.
82.
And, and somebody had poisoned a batch of Tylenol, and there were people dying, and there was a scare throughout the United States. And somehow Tylenol survived this whole thing. But there is now, correct me if I'm wrong, Willie, a Netflix documentary.
Yes, it is. It's a 3-part series. Basically, each episode is about 45 minutes, and they call it Cold Case: The Tylenol Murders. Okay, this is probably one of the biggest unsolved cases in all of American history.
Never thought about that.
They take the first episode. They give you the background about what happened. How some Tylenol was purchased in the Chicago area. It was poisoned with cyanide. Several people sadly died, and they tried to figure out what happened. And it was. And Tylenol, basically collected all the Tylenol in the country and destroyed it. They tried to figure out how did it get into the plant, and they said no, it couldn't have gotten into the plant. It had to be some one individual who had taken these bottles, had gotten into them, had put the cyanide into the pills and put them back on the shelves. And they determined this because they were from different lot numbers and they were produced in different areas and in the whole thing. So they go into all that. Then the second episode
Spoiler
is the
alert,
prime
Willie.
suspect. Yeah. The second one is the prime suspect, is the one person who got caught basically sending an extortion letter to Tylenol.
Right.
What are you doing? And then because he was never actually proven to be guilty, although they lay out the case against him, and it's a good case against him, okay? He's a bad dude. They then, in the third episode, go into other theories, other possible suspects. Were there more than one? Were there a couple of guys who had the same idea around the same time? They even dig into Tylenol, and they say, hey, Tylenol said some things in '82 that turned out to not be true, and so they get into that a little bit. So it really is, for me, fascinating. I mean, just because it really, I remember when it happened.
Yeah,
I mean, this was one of the biggest things that ever happened. I mean, this is why you have all the shrink wrap and
the seal packs,
and seal everything. Because before that, you could just go into the store, open up the box, open up the bottle, and look and touch the pills
immediately.
or even take one if you wanted. Yeah,
it's like today. If you see and that seal is broken, you are uncomfortable. You don't want to use the Tylenol. Nope. So, all right, this is.
I was going to watch it, but now I'm not. I think he summed it up for me.
Is it
45 seconds?
Is it on this weekend?
It's on right now.
Okay.
So you can go to Netflix. Right. You can watch it right now. I'm at 3 waffles. I thought it was pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good.
And then quickly, The Better Sister. What do you think on Amazon?
Yeah, disappointing. I mean, there's a lot of these crime dramas coming out right now, and this one is kind of in that vein of, they're sisters, and one has had a pretty good life, the other one's had it rough, and the good sister, or the better sister's husband, is murdered. And now the two sisters are teaming up to find out, who did it, what happened, and it becomes kind of a crime drama, and it becomes a family drama, and it becomes everything. It becomes a thing about a kid who's got trouble. I mean, it's throwing too much at us all in one, and it keeps shifting. I'm at 1.5 waffles for The Better Sister on Prime Video.
I have 50 seconds. I did want to bring up the reality stars Todd and Julie Chrisley. I love this story that they have been convicted and sent to jail because of their conservative values. Give me a break.
That's what they say.
Right?
There was also evidence that they had filed false documents for a loan, and
that might have played a little role.
Bankruptcy.
Yeah. Right. A little bit of role in that whole thing. Well, anyway, they're out now, and they're on their tour of, thankfully, we've been set free after being discriminated against. Meanwhile, Martha Stewart's like, give me a break. I mean, if you're Martha Stewart, right? She went to prison over what Congress people do every single day. Nonetheless.
That's right. Martha Stewart looks at them and goes, lightweight.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I did my time.
If you ever watched this show, which my wife did, I'm not sure about those conservative values, Christian values they talk about. Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think that they're going to bring the show back now. That's what
I think so too. Yeah,
that's what scares me, because I caught an episode here or there, and I was like, this is horrible television. I can't believe
it is.
I can't do this.
Yeah, it's just terrible. All right, Willie. This is what we deal with. This is when you have so many openings to stream stuff, you got to fill it with garbage. Unfortunately. All right, we'll do it again next week. We'll talk soon. Thank you, Willie. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, talk to you next week.
All right, thanks so much, Willie Waffle. And coming up next hour, a whole bunch to get to, including $300 for Habaika's free money question of the day. We'll do that coming up right around 7:35.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
The Trump tariffs remain in place for now. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After a federal appeals court put a hold on a Wednesday trade court ruling that blocked many of the new U.S. tariffs imposed on imports from many countries. White House Counselor for Trade Peter Navarro tells Fox Business.
We feel like we're on very strong legal grounds in both the fentanyl tariff case and the reciprocal tariff case.
The trade court had ruled the president exceeded his authority with those tariffs, and he posted on Truth Social, were the judges motivated by Trump hatred? And he called their ruling a threat to presidential power, urging the Supreme Court to take quick, decisive action. Those tariffs led to a lot of trade negotiations with different countries. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent tells Fox talks with China have stalled, and the president and China's premier may have to get together.
Given the magnitude of the talks, given the complexity, that this is going to require both leaders to weigh in with each other.
There are also negotiations trying to get a new ceasefire in Gaza, and Hamas is now reviewing a U.S. proposal that Israel supports.
Reports suggest Hamas would release 10 living hostages and the remains of others during the 60-day pause. Israel would release hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and pull back forces to positions before the last ceasefire ended in March.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Someone who rose to fame after 9/11 has died. Bernie Kerik. He was New York City Police Commissioner and helped coordinate the emergency response to the terror attack. Later nominated to be the head of Homeland Security, but he withdrew and then had legal trouble.
He pleaded guilty to 8 felonies, including tax fraud and lying to the White House. Kerik spent nearly 3 years in prison and went on to get a pardon from President Trump. FBI Director Kash Patel announced his death, posting that Kerik passed away after a private battle with illness.
Fox's Jill Nato. In London, actor and comedian Russell Brand pleaded not guilty this morning to charges that he raped or sexually assaulted 4 women in allegations that date back between 1999 and 2005. America's listening to Fox News.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Is Cialis Daily really better than Viagra?
If you like spontaneity, the answer is yes. So when the mood strikes, you're ready to go.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
When you take it, you're ready to go.
Does Cialis Daily last longer than Viagra?
Guys are raving that their results last even longer.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Are 30-day sample packs available?
You can now access a 30-day sample pack at TryRexMD.com with generics if appropriate. Online approval at TryRexMD.com is simple, with medication delivered direct to your door. There's no copay, no doctor office visit, and your shipping is always free. Visit TryRexMD.com to get your sample pack. That's TryRexMD.com.
Harvard can continue to enroll international students after a federal judge extended her block on a Trump administration order to ban that enrollment.
Last week, Harvard did sue the federal government when DHS Secretary Kristi Noem ordered the termination of Harvard's student visa program, saying the school had not fully complied with demands to supply information on student visa holders and that it had not done enough to stop anti-Semitism on campus. Well, currently, Harvard enrolls nearly 7,000 international students. That's about 27% of its total student population. The university says it is being unfairly targeted by the administration as a, quote, blatant violation of the First Amendment.
That's Fox's Chanley Painter in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We'll get an inflation update this morning for April. A gauge the Federal Reserve monitors closely, what's called personal consumption expenditures. The day after President Trump met with the Fed chairman, he has called Jerome Powell a fool, demanding interest rate cuts. The Fed in a statement said Powell told the president rate cut decisions are based on careful, objective, and non-political analysis. On Wall Street, stock futures down modestly ahead of the new report the day after gains. In the NBA playoffs,
The New York Knicks have looked elimination in the eye, and they are alive and kicking. And now the series to Game 6 in Indy with the Pacer lead cut 3-2.
The final call on TNT after the Knicks beat the Indiana Pacers 111-94 to set up that Game 6 in the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow. In hockey, a rematch is now set for the Stanley Cup Final.
It's McDavid. Hintz trying to catch him. McDavid scores!
Connor McDavid led the Oilers to another NHL Western Conference title. Edmonton beat Dallas 6-3 on ESPN to take that series in 5 games. The Oilers will again play for the Cup against the defending champion Florida Panthers. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. 56 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up next. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office responded to a fully involved barn fire in Floyd yesterday. Authorities say a party drove by the Cemetery Road barn around 9:30 a.m. and notified authorities of the blaze. The barn was fully involved and had spread to a nearby milk house. To protect the public, Cemetery Road between Rabbit Road and Phillips Road was closed. Authorities say no one was inside the barn or suffered injuries as the owners were not home at the time. Unfortunately, 2 horses and 8 calves were killed. 1 calf survived. Other dairy cows that weren't near the fire are being brought by friends, families, and neighbors to other locations. The cause of the fire remains under investigation by Rome Fire Department. There may be more to the story about Rhett, the pit bull mix that was abandoned in an apartment in Kirkland. While Rhett is inching back from death's door after he was found severely emaciated and covered in fleas, some neighbors believe there was another dog in that apartment that did not make it. Speaking to WKTV, Sheriff Rob Mashel said deputies found a bone of some kind of animal, but they're still trying to determine what it is. Authorities have charged Lindsay Meelan in the animal cruelty case, where she faces a felony. She is due back in Kirkland Town Court, where her father is the town supervisor, which is sparking concerns. Mashel says it's likely a judge or jurisdiction will change in regards to this case. Congress members across several states, including New York, are calling on President Trump to fight for the release of all remaining hostages held by Hamas. They're urging Trump to keep up the momentum following the recent release of New Jersey native Eden Alexander, who is believed to be the last living U.S. citizen held captive. Members say Alexander's return has brought renewed hope to the nation, but they continue pushing for the remains of at least 4 other U.S. citizens to be returned, including Long Island native Omar Nutra. A California man is the recipient of the world's first ever bladder transplant. Doctors from Keck Medicine of USC and UCLA Health teamed up for the groundbreaking clinical trial surgery. It was performed earlier this month at Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center. 41-year-old Oscar Larenzar of West Covina is both a kidney and bladder cancer survivor. Doctors say Larenzar is doing well 3 weeks after surgery. There are 4 more patients approved for the surgery in this 2-year clinical trial. And one of the biggest boy bands of the late 90s and early 2000s is coming to New York State Fair. 98 Degrees will perform on the Suburban Park stage Monday, August 25th at 8 p.m. The group is known for smash hit songs such as Because of You, The Hardest Thing, and Give Me Just One Night. There's no cost to see the concert because it's included in daily admission to the fair, which runs from August 20th through September 1st. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Another area of low pressure coming in, and that means more wet weather possible and cool temperatures. Next week's going to be nice, at least through midweek, I promise. So we'll get through the next couple of days, and then we'll have some better weather. That means today's not going to be terrible. Some partial sunshine, 75. Showers tonight, late 53. 40s North Country. A few showers, thunderstorms, 60 tomorrow. Chance of showers Sunday, 60. From the Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, 56 degrees under cloudy skies. Let's take a look at sports. Brought to you by the IBEW 43 local sports desk. The Eastern Conference Finals in the NBA, they are not over yet because the Knicks staved off elimination with a 111-94 win over the Pacers in Game 5. Jalen Brunson led all scorers with 32 points as New York now trails the best of 7 series 3-2. Indy will try to close out the series on home court Saturday night. The Thunder already advancing after dispatching the Timberwolves in 5 games out west. The Stanley Cup final is officially set. The Oilers are going back to the Cup final after beating the Dallas Stars in Game 5 of the Western Conference final. Edmonton failed to win last year's title after losing to the Panthers in 7 games. Florida making its 3rd straight trip to the Stanley Cup final and seeking its 2nd straight championship. This marks the 12th rematch in the Stanley Cup final since the NHL expanded from the original 6. The Mets, they wrap up their 9-game homestand this weekend. New York hosting the Rockies for a 3-game set beginning tonight. The Mets, they're hoping to bounce back after a loss to the White Sox of all teams in their series finale. The Yankees, they are ready for revenge. After falling to the Dodgers in last year's Fall Classic, the Pinstripes are visiting the World Series champs for a 3-game set that begins tonight. New York leads the AL East after winning 5 straight games. The Jets' new starting quarterback, he isn't lacking confidence. Justin Fields says after the Jets' 5th OTA practice that he thinks he can be great for the green and white. Fields believes the sky is the limit for the team, but also recognize they have a long way to go. Cam Skattebo is surprised to hear his name called by the Giants on draft day. The 4th-round pick revealed on the St. Brown podcast that he didn't think the Giants would take him after he was late to his top 30 visit. New York selected Scadaboo on the 105th pick in the draft. The NFL preseason is heading to primetime. The league announced on Thursday that 5 exhibition games will be nationally televised, starting with the Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and the Lions in Canton on July 31st. A pair of Week 2 games are on the slate when the Bills visit the Bears on August 17th and the Commanders entertain the Bengals the night after. Back-to-back matchups kick off on the 21st and 22nd when the Patriots head to the Giants and the Titans play the host to the Vikings in Week 3. And Ben Griffin is sitting atop the leaderboard of the Memorial Tournament. Griffin shot a 765 in the opening round of the Muirfield Village Golf Club. This is the first time in Griffin's tour career he has a lead after 18 holes. Colin Morikawa is in second place after 5 under par. Max Homa rounds out the top 3 at 4 under, and Andrew Novak and Lucas Glover will be among the first pair of players teeing off in round 2. Your WIBX news time is 7:11, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Hey, I want to tell you, people of all ages, Davey, experience different levels of discomfort, whether it's knee pain or hip pain or back pain stemming from foot issues, the way you walk. And chances are you've gotten some habits when it comes to your walking that have that ultimately will cause pain for you. That's where the Good Feet store comes in. They're now located at 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. And you can walk in without an appointment or make an appointment. They have arch support specialists there. It'll start out with watching you walk. And there's actually, you walk onto a pad, and it'll show you your arch. It'll show you your walk and your step. And it'll show you where improvements need to be made. From there, they do their thing, which is really quite amazing, and come up with a personalized fitting of arches that will go into your shoes, or you can get shoes from them. And it will completely fix, in a 3-step system, fix the way you walk and hopefully eliminate the pain. That's the goal, and it works. There's no obligation to go in, personalized fittings, no obligation whatsoever. Free fitting and test walk with or without an appointment. Everything is made in the USA, and you're taking advantage of their 3-step system. Strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. I've had them, and they do work. You work your way up to wearing the strengtheners longer as time goes on. It's all a system. You just follow along easily, and the goal, watch the pain go away. Maintain proper foot alignment by exercising and strengthening muscles, tendons, and ligaments of the feet when you're just simply walking. You don't even realize you're doing that exercising. Call them today at 315-999-3910 or stop in the Good Feet store, 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. Coming up, the Mayor's Ball. We'll find out what's happening there with the Thea Bowman House. That's the beneficiary. They are the beneficiary of this year's event. Mighty John the Record Guy is coming up with songs for maybe the world's largest yard sale that are worth $100 or more, maybe something worth a lot of money. And for Manaski, I have a whole story on Creedence Clearwater Revival that's big. And I know that's always your go-to. We'll get to that coming right up at WIBX.
Do you love yard sales? Then get ready for the world's largest yard sale. Why spend your whole weekend driving from sale to sale when you can find all the treasures in one epic spot? It's the world's largest yard sale, sponsored by the Potting Shed Antiques, featuring over 150 vendors in one place, packed with antiques, furniture, tools, name brand clothes, kids gear, toys, collectibles, and tons more. Skip the driving, skip the guessing. Park once, shop tons, and score big deals. The world's largest yard sale is Saturday, June 14th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds. Bring the family, bring your friends, bring your bags, and bring your treasure hunting spirit. The world's largest yard sale at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds, June 14th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. featuring the jazz sounds of the Dove Tones. Sponsored by the Potting Shed Antiques, John's Mobile Homes and Accessories, Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating, Clinton Tractor and Implement Company, and James Mitsubishi.
Why do we say we bring the fun to your backyard? Because at Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, that's exactly what we aim to do. And a fiberglass pool can bring years and years of backyard fun. A fiberglass pool from Tucker Backyard is more affordable now than ever. Plus, with durability, low maintenance, and of course, beauty, it's the perfect fit for your backyard. Come visit our unique indoor showroom, including 3 fully functional pools, giving you a full hands-on experience. Or try our new interactive showroom and design the pool or spa of your dreams. Interact, design, review, and save. With Tucker Backyard service and knowledge, now is the time to stop by and learn more about putting the pool of your dreams in your backyard. Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, 8086 Seneca Turnpike, 1 mile west of Big Apple Plaza. Online at tuckerbackyard.com. Visit Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, Seneca Turnpike. We bring the fun to your backyard.
On Friday's Guy Benson Show, live from the Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley, California, we are loaded up. Senator Mike Rounds of South Dakota, House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington, Governor Stitt of Oklahoma, Secretary Wright of Energy, and Rick Caruso, California real estate mogul. An incredible lineup on the Friday edition of The Guy Benson Show.
Guy Benson, airing at 7, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
If you're looking for, I don't know, I probably should just remind everybody, because I know they're not even thinking about it. Today's Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Of course you're not thinking about it. You know you're thinking about it. So what are you going to do this weekend? And I got to say, keep in mind, this weekend looks like a bit of raininess, both Saturday and Sunday, and cooler temperatures. So maybe doing some things that are indoors. Central Adirondack art exhibitions going on this weekend up there at the View Art Center. You take advantage of that in Old Forge. There's the opening for Justin Como, the exhibition at their new location featuring the stunning work of artist Justin Como, and it'll happen at the Mohawk Valley Center for the Arts in Little Falls. Again, notice I'm giving you things that are indoors, things you could take advantage of this weekend that are indoors. Although there may be those moments where it just doesn't, it isn't raining. Oh, and then there's the annual, this goes on every year, the Italian Festival. This is the 98th annual St. Francis de Paola, I don't know if I say that right, annual festival. But anyways, the St. Francis Festival is what we always called it. And it happens this weekend in Frankfurt at the St. Francis Society, which is right over there by the school, right on, it's 152 8th Ave in Frankfurt. And there's a whole bunch happening this weekend. They'll have music and food and pizza frite, the Italian foods. Everything you can think of in a great Italian festival. And this year in Frankfurt, it's their 98th. Pretty wild. Herkimer County. Go to the website, herkimercountyny.gov. It's a site that you can submit items, no charge, or you can see what's going on for the weekend and things to do, or during the week as well. It's whatever is happening in Herkimer County, where history, commerce, and beauty collide. It is happening in Herkimer County.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Well, good morning. Coming up, I want to get into that John Fogerty story, Creedence Clearwater Revival from Manasseh, because he's such a huge fan of Creedence. In fact, we bring this up because every time there would ever be a song, name that tune type thing, Manasseh would always be like, is that Creedence Clearwater Revival?
Yeah. So I
don't know how you got that reputation, but
well, that's how I got it. I would often say
you're better than that.
I am better than that. That's right, Bill. I tell myself that every single morning. But you would do these contests, and just as a last gasp, and just to throw something out there, I would always say CCR. So I think they have some good songs, and often, if you happen to see me out on the FedEx route that I'm on, you might see me, depending if they happen to be playing on the radio or something. I'll sing along because I know a lot of their songs, but I'm not like some big CCR fan. If they were playing in downtown Utica, I probably wouldn't go to the show.
One of my favorite bands in history, Creedence.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this is going to be a treat for you too, then.
Yeah. This is kind of cool, although I'm not sure I'm completely in agreement with this.
Okay.
I feel like we're dealing with a little bit of a money grab, and I'll explain. And, if anybody deserves it, I guess John Fogerty deserves it. I don't know if you know this, but Jane Domingue is the executive director of the Thea Bowman House. And, Jane, you can let the cat out of the bag this weekend at the Mayor's Gala. Creedence Clearwater Revival will be performing. Isn't that right?
I am not sure about that.
Yeah, because that's not true.
We do have some wonderful groups.
You have multiple groups that are in different venues all throughout the property. Mm-hmm. So explain what's happening this weekend, and then I want to get into the house and what you guys do.
Okay. Well, first of all, we're delighted that we were chosen this year to receive the honor of being at the Mayor's Ball. And we have the preparations for this have been, wonderful. We have so many people from the community involved in this effort, all kinds of artists and decorators and so many local restaurants that are donating food and all kinds of other wonderful things.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about it. And it is going to be this coming Saturday evening, May 31st.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. And some of the bands that are being featured are Showtime is coming. We also have a vocalist, ZZ, is coming. And in addition to that, D. King, who is a DJ, coming.
Okay. So different depending on where you are on the property, which is at the... It's
at the Delta Hotel.
I didn't want to say it without it being the Delta.
Yes.
And depending on where you are, you may be enjoying a different vibe, if you will.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have the entire floor downstairs, the entire
That's
suite
cool.
Nice. Of rooms.
Okay, and if you could, for those who are going and maybe they just want to buy a ticket to help out because they like the cause, explain what the Thea Bowman House does.
Well, we are primarily a child care center in Utica. We've been serving actually for almost up to 40 years already.
Wow.
And we have children as young as 18 months and as old as 13 years old. And even teenagers can stay beyond that if they so choose. We also offer some supportive services for the families that we serve. As many people know, child care is incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
And so many of the families that we serve really are working in very important jobs in our community, and they really need to get to work. People who work.
How many kids are you able to handle?
We have almost 300 children right now.
That's changed. You're changing the world here because you really are, because it's the biggest problem. Sometimes you're working a job and it's minimum wage. Let's say you work in radio. And, right?
Absolutely.
That's terrible. Anyway, let's say you're working a job and it's minimum wage. By the time you're done paying for daycare and traveling back and forth and doing all these things, you have diluted the benefits of working. It gets to the point where is it worth working? And that's not what we want. People,
Absolutely.
You want them to be members of society and productive members, and I think that you offering this service changes the world for people.
Well, thank you very much. We sure are trying.
Well, I think
but we also have the heroes that you just spoke about, all the people who are going to jobs in nursing homes and hospitals, and that keep our community going.
Yeah,
very important.
All right. How are the kids behaving? Are they pretty good?
Oh, they're just perfect angels.
I bet
every
they
one
are.
of them.
Yes. My wife says that every time she's a teacher. Every time she comes home, angels.
That's right.
Every single day.
We have to see those wings. That's the
must.
only way we get by.
All right. If people want to get tickets, how do they do it?
Well,
for this
you
weekend?
can get tickets at the door.
Okay.
There's also availability on the Mayor's Ball website, Mayor's Gala website.
Okay.
You can do it through PayPal.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for what you do. And I hope they make a lot of money for you guys tomorrow night. So
thank you very much for
All right.
having me on the show.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for the Thea Bowman House. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. Let's see. What do I want to do? Let me I'm going to keep rolling here. You know how to get out of here, and it's a maze. You'll be lost. You'll be here. You'll miss the event. It's a beautiful station. It's nice.
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's nice. If they'd pay more, we'd be a lot happier. But, you know. We are all like that. Yes, that is true.
It's funny. Just old. I don't want to say old hat, but that's not the right expression that I'm looking for. But she says you have a beautiful station, and I say thank you, like I'm still here.
Thank you. Well, it's nice of you to say thank you. On the line right now, the one and only. If it's vinyl, there's nobody that knows more than our man, Mighty John, the record guy. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. I have a couple quick stories that I thought were interesting before we get started with you here, if you have a moment to tolerate me. Number one, apparently there was an interview recently on Metallica saying one of their former members claiming that his band, Metallica, stole the riff to Enter Sandman. And they say they stole it from a group called... He says they stole it from a group called Excel, which actually came out before Microsoft Excel. So they just were screwed from the very beginning, I think, with name and everything else. I'll play
Do you have audio?
I do have some audio. I'll play a little
Okay.
clip here, and I think let's see if this works the way I want it to work. This is the band Excel. This came out before Enter Sandman. There it is. Now they say, there it is.
No, see.
Tell me that's not it.
No, it's not. Not to me. Again, not a musical guy, and I'm
Now
not.
listen. This is Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
What do you think, John? What do you think on all of that?
Well, I know Metallica can be quite collectible. I don't know about under that name, but
Yeah, that's true. Under Excel. I mean, probably their record, whatever the song was called, I forget, is worth nothing. Here's the other thing I wanted your opinion on. John Fogerty is kind of taking a page out of Taylor Swift. He is out. He is recording John's version of the greatest Creedence Clearwater songs. So if you remember, Taylor Swift did it because she had a dispute with her record company and said, screw it, I'm going to re-record all of these songs and have my audience buy from me, not the record company. And she did, and she's one of the most wealthy in all of music today because of it. The difference with this is in 2023, John Fogerty got his entire catalog back. He was in a battle with, was it Fantasy Records?
Fantasy, yeah.
Fantasy. And, you know, his brother sided with a record company and not with him, and it was just a whole mess. But in 2023, he got it back. So I feel like this is kind of a money grab because he's already making money off the original catalog. And now he's doing this. I don't know.
Well, he started Creedence before John Fogerty did. Tom Fogerty started the band.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. And by the way, do you know how Taylor Swift was named after a superstar? Do you know who that was?
A music superstar?
Yes.
I don't know.
James Taylor.
Taylor's. Oh, I did not know that. That's really cool. James Taylor's probably looking at how did she figure out how to make all this money like this? 'Cause she's made a dough.
Using my name, I want the money.
That's right. Hello. All right. What do we have? What do we have in terms of? It is garage sale season. It is yard sale season.
Can we just go back to that real quick? I just want to say, not that it matters what I think, but I recognize some similarities in how that's played.
You're going back to the Metallica thing.
The Metallica thing. But Bill, you have, I think, a brilliant quote that's, at least it used to be on your Facebook page, that has to do with
Jesus?
No, creativity and taking out someone else's idea, and I want to say reimagining it or taking. What do you know what it is?
Well, I did till I was 50, and now I've completely forgotten it. So,
I am going to have to look it up. But
you look it
it's
up.
Like creativity is taking someone else's idea and imagining it differently.
And you know what? The reality, there aren't so many chord progressions, right, John? I mean, there's only so much one can do. However, when it's completely almost like and it's hard. You heard it. You liked it, and it's logged into your brain. And when you try to create your own thing, you borrow from it. That becomes very difficult for artists, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy.
It's a crazy world, and go ahead.
It's a crazy world.
Creativity is having fun with someone else's intelligence.
Creativity is having fun with someone else's intelligence.
And I feel like,
now I remember I said that.
You can, I wonder who you stole that quote from.
Somebody.
But it's just... The idea that it's stolen, again, if it sounded exactly the same, I think it would be obvious. But they took something or a progression, and it seems to me, just to my ear, and it's not a professional ear at all, that they put their own twist on it. To me, that's not an identical...
And for the record, they're not suing. If they were going to have done that, they would have done it years ago.
Sure.
And so there's no lawsuit here, but it was brought up in an interview recently, which is why it's current.
But they say something like he stole it, and maybe they heard it and it inspired it, but it's a variation of it. And as you say, there's only so many chord progressions. I'm sorry, John.
Well, so that was the argument with George Harrison. My Sweet Lord.
My Sweet Lord, and the Shirelles, wasn't it?
The Chiffons.
The Chiffons, yeah.
Yeah, and it cost George $500,000.
Yeah, I mean, and you wonder, it all depends on how that jury reacts to something like this. So, interesting. Yep. All right, we have that season. It's here, the season of yard sales and garage sales. And, John, you never know what you're going to find.
Absolutely. That's the fun of it all, finding that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So here are 10 worth $125 or more that you want to be looking for. Dave Clark 5, big hit for them, Glad All Over. Now, the value for the album, if you find a copy or have a copy, look at the cover. If the band is pictured with their instruments on the cover, $30. Mm-hmm. But if the band is pictured without the instruments on the cover, up to $125.
Okay.
The Barbarians, big hit for them back in the 60s. You probably couldn't play today. Are you a boy or are you a girl?
Okay, yeah, you couldn't. No.
Actually, I think that would work because it's like you just choose. Yeah, it's a question you pose to a 6-year-old.
Yes, but back then it didn't have the same meaning as it does today.
No.
Yeah.
So mono copy of the album up to $75, stereo copy up to $175.
Okay.
78s. There were rock and roll 78s. Look for Chuck Berry, the great Johnny B. Good. Current value for that 78 up to $200. Probably the most controversial 45 of all time.
How did this become controversial? It's because they couldn't understand the lyrics, right?
Well, Louie, yeah. Well, the lead singer was inebriated at the time and so far away from the microphone that you couldn't understand it, so people started making up their own lyrics, and we got the version we all know. But in reality, it was just a man talking to a bartender about his girlfriend in Jamaica, and the bartender's name was Louie.
Love that song. What's that worth?
On the original label, Jordan Records, up to $250.
Oh, nice.
Now, little things can make a big difference when it comes to record value.
Okay, I have this record. I have this album. So what's going to make mine worth a lot of money?
Well, the album is Highway 61 Revisited. But on the album, there's a song called From a Buick 6. Some versions, there's just a regular version of Buick 6 up to $50. But if you listen to the album, and there's a harmonica riff at the beginning of From a Buick 6, that jumps the value to $350.
Wow.
So, Bill, you'll have to go home and listen to it.
You have to listen to it. Yeah, you can't look at the cover in this case. That's really cool. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What I find is wherever we live, apparently all those valuable little quirky things never sold here. It just feels like I never get everything I have. It could be worth $10 or $350, and mine are always $10. So, all right, Highway 61 Revisited, harmonica on From a Buick 6. Okay, got it.
You got it. Ike and Tina Turner, everything by them worth money. Look for the album It's Gonna Work Out Fine. Current value up to $400. So find anything by Ike and Tina Turner, it's going to be worth money.
All right.
Supertramp, Breakfast in America, big album for them. The value, though, is for the picture disc, a picture of a waitress holding a tray right on the vinyl itself. Picture disc, Breakfast in America, $500. Look for the Eagles, the album Desperado. Now, here's a case where the promo copy that went to radio stations is where the money is.
Okay.
A regular copy, about $10. One of those copies was not for sale or promotional only on the label, up to $500.
Wow.
And Desperado, everybody knows that song, but it was never a single. Yet you thought most people think it was.
Yeah, and it played like a single, right? You heard it.
Yeah.
It just felt like that was one that was, on Casey Kasem's top 40, but not.
No.
Yeah, interesting.
All the girls loved him, so that's why he was never single.
That is true. Boom.
Everything by Elvis worth money. Big hit for Elvis. Are You Lonesome Tonight? That $45. Up to $20 if it's mono, and up to $800 if it's stereo.
Wow. All right.
Little things. And number one on our list to look for the month of May, The Byrds, the 45. The Times, They Are A-Changin'. Well, the record itself worth up to about $25. The picture sleeve that it came in, if you find a copy, up to $2,500.
Wow. Boy, think about that. That makes the, we threw away so many picture sleeves over the years, and you just never know when that picture sleeve is the real value. It's crazy.
Well, that's it. Less of them survived, and so the value is much higher.
Yeah. All right. Moneymusic.com is the website. You have a list, which is awesome. You could take it with you. It's on a thumb drive if you're out shopping for records. It's over 1 million songs and records that it's showing the value of each one. It's really incredible.
Thank you. From 1902 to the present day, we cover it all.
Moneymusic.com is the website. John, we'll do it again in June. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Bill.
Okay, have a great day. Mighty John, the record guy. All right, coming up, we'll do Hobike's free money question this morning. It's worth $300. We'll get right to it, coming right up. And then Andrew Dominio has been a customer of this GoNet Zero internet, fiber optic internet service. What does he think of it after, I think he's had it for like 6 months. So where is he on that? I am very curious. We'll speak with him. Coming up at WIBX.
I went in for a regular prostate screening, and my lab results showed my PSA level were elevated.
We repeated the lab test, and the second test came back elevated too. We did a biopsy, and the biopsy showed cancer in certain areas of Philip's prostate.
Dr. Ba performed a prostatectomy at Wayne Hospital using robotic surgery to remove the cancer.
We were able to cure him with smaller incisions, and he had a quick recovery.
Since the surgery, all my PSA level has been normal. I am proof that early detection can prevent something far worse.
I had been lifting something heavy, felt a tinge in my back. I also had some shortness of breath, but thought it was due to what I figured was some kind of muscle pull. I was wrong.
The episodes of pain that Ray was experiencing were actually small heart attacks. The Wayne Emergency Department was able to provide immediate life-saving care to Ray's heart.
If it wasn't for the amazing team at Wynn, I might not be here at all. I feel indebted to everyone who helped make Wynn Hospital a reality so I can get the immediate care I needed right when I needed it.
Thank you for giving my daddy back home.
Celebrate AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary with an extra 0.75% off your auto and rec loans. Apply today at ameriq.org/loan sale.
Hey, River Hills Properties is and continues to be the fastest growing real estate company in the area. And boy, do they put their money where their mouth is. They've expanded not only into the North Country, but I don't know, is there such a thing as the South Country? The south of the country. I'll explain. River Hills has offices in Barneville, Little Falls, Utica. To the North Country, Copenhagen, Newport, and the amazing, now, speaking of the South, Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota, including Naples and Marco Island, some of the most beautiful places in America, and some of the most beautiful homes. So if you'd want to be maybe one of those snowbirds, or you're just gone. That's it. I'm out of here. You're selling here. They can take care of you. Down there, you're looking for a property. They completely have that market under under wraps, if you will. River Hills Properties, LLC.com is the website. Call 315-896-1009. So everywhere from the Gulf Coast to Florida, Sarasota, all the way to the Adirondacks, all the way to Central New York, River Hills Properties, 315-896-1009.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update, brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office responded to a fully involved barn fire in Floyd yesterday. Authorities say a party drove by the Cemetery Road barn around 9:30 a.m. and notified authorities of the blaze. The barn was fully involved and had spread to a nearby milk house. To protect the public, Cemetery Road between Rabbit Road and Phillips Road was closed. Authorities say no one was inside the barn or suffered injuries, as the owners were not home at the time. Unfortunately, 2 horses and 8 calves were killed. 1 calf survived. Other dairy cows that weren't near the fire are being brought by friends, family, and neighbors to other locations. The cause of the fire remains under investigation by Rome Fire Department. Today is the final day of scheduled water shutoffs for Ilion as the village nears completion of its water valve replacements. Areas affected by today's water shutoffs, which start at 8 a.m., will include 2nd Street from 6th Avenue to Sunset Avenue and Behringer Road from West Rand Street to 2nd Street. The Village of Ilion Board of Trustees says work could expand to other streets if the valves require. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says a new COVID-19 strain responsible for a large surge in China has arrived in the United States. It's an Omicron variant known as NB181 and has been detected through airport screening programs for international travelers. The first cases here showed up in late March and early April, producing symptoms similar to earlier COVID strains. The CDC says a handful of cases have been confirmed in New York, California, Rhode Island, Virginia, Ohio, Washington, and Hawaii. And a hiker is back from the dead, alive and well after a frantic emergency call. It happened over the holiday weekend in the Adirondacks when 2 New York hikers called and said they were lost and their friend had died on the trail. The first ranger to show up quickly found that the 2 were actually tripping on psychedelic mushrooms. Their friend also called the rangers and was found alive and uninjured. He had just gotten separated from his friends. Your Weather Center forecast is next, and it's brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more info.
Another area of low pressure coming in, and that means more wet weather possible and cool temperatures. Next week's going to be nice, at least through midweek, I promise. So we'll get through the next couple of days, and then we'll have some better weather. Today's not going to be terrible. Some partial sunshine, 75. Showers tonight, late 53. 40s North Country. A few showers, thunderstorms, 60 tomorrow. Chance of showers Sunday, 60. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, we have our overcast skies, I would say, currently 58 degrees. All right, let's do Hobica's free money question of the day. It is worth, this morning, $300. $300. Davey, this morning you're looking for caller number what?
Caller number 4.
4th caller. We're going to do it next. Caller number 4 right now. 315-736-0186 at WIBX.
Mattress Express is proud to announce we have added Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta Eye Comfort, and Avocado, the big online brand, to our lineup in all of our stores. Go to mattressexpressny.com or call 1-800-NEW-BED.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
In life, we're often faced with difficult decisions. When it comes to caring for our loved one, the choice can be overwhelming. But amidst the uncertainties, there's one decision that stands out as an act of profound love and gratitude: choosing hospice care. Hospice care isn't just about medical support. It's about honoring the journey of those who've given their all to their families. It's about providing comfort, dignity, and peace in their final days, surrounded by loved ones. Choosing hospice is a way to give back to someone who has selflessly given their life to others. At Hospice and Palliative Care, we understand the weight of this choice. Our compassionate team is here to guide you through every step of the journey, providing personalized care that respects the individuality and dignity of your loved one. When it's time to say goodbye, choose hospice care. Choose love. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties. Visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call 315-735-6484.
When you need us most.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
The official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. They have a wonderful drive-through. You're in, you order, you're up to the window, and you're gone fast. You don't sit around all morning long. And everything from breakfast sandwiches to your coffees and iced coffees. Going to be a decent day today, so an iced coffee might not be a bad idea. Seattle's best is the coffee, and their amazing cold brew coffee is incredible as well. Everything is made fresh every day, and that includes the donuts, the croissants, and the bagels, and introducing their new breakfast sandwich, the egg white frittata made with egg white, spinach, tomato, and feta cheese on a bagel, English muffin, or croissant. Check it out, Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, time for Hobeika's free money question of the day from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika at 315-724-1600. For all of your legal needs, call the Hobeika Law Firm. Jay is in Vernon. Good morning, Jay. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
Top of the morning to you.
Yeah, same to you, my friend.
All right. You know the routine here, how we do this. You'll have your chance to get an answer in. You're going to have 7 seconds to answer that question. Make sure you get your answer in, even if you have to guess. And here we go with your question. 7 seconds on this one. Here we go. Every state in the Union has its own flag in the United States. This U.S. state has the only non-rectangular flag. Which state? Ready, go.
New Hampshire.
Is it New Hampshire? New Hampshire. Ohio is the answer we were looking for there. So.
Well, I'm not a Buckeye fan anyway.
Yeah, me either. I wouldn't even want the money. Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Yeah, perhaps I would.
Yeah. We're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card, good at Aquavino and Babes and Cookies, Q and Creamery, The Odd, Nexus, Taylor and the Cook. The list goes on. Davey's going to hook you up. Stand by, all right?
Thank you, Bill.
All right, Jay. Thank you so much. Yesterday we were talking about the internet service, fiber optic, and now they're moving into New Hartford. It's pretty big. A lot of people excited about it. They've wanted to cut the cord completely from Spectrum, and now this would allow them to actually do that. Is it the right move? How do customers of the service feel about the service. Have they had any hiccups? And on the line right now, formerly from this program, the one and only Andrew Dominio. Good morning.
Well, good morning to you. How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
You know,
it was good to.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was good to sleep in, or actually go to bed early. I've been watching these West Coast games, watching the Yankees take care of business. So it was good to get a little more rest last night.
And you kind of knew that Knicks game, right, was going to be just. It was a blowout from start to finish.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they can perform a miracle here, but they're going to have to really step it up.
So right, they tie it up and then they go out there to play, right? If they tie it up tomorrow night.
If they tie it up tomorrow night, yeah.
Okay. All right. We had the people from Go NetSpeed on yesterday. They're continuously installing their service. And it's fiber optic internet service, which is constant. It's kind of like Fios. You always heard people say, boy, Fios is fast. And it is. Unfortunately, Verizon has given up on the program. For us, it's a game changer, I feel, because people today have so many streaming devices in their homes. And it's not just exclusive to television, right? So when this came out, you were one of the first to get on board. You received the service, you have it, and I'd like your opinion.
Yeah, I loved it, honestly. With Spectrum, so in the part of North Utica that we lived in, we were having a lot of spotty service issues. I would have to constantly reboot the router, plug it, unplug it, plug it back in, and it would lead to a lot of issues. We'd get the spinny wheel of death when we were trying to watch anything streaming wise. So when Go NetSpeed came along, it was fairly easy. The equipment, they came in, they installed it. The equipment's a little bit bulkier than what you'd get at Spectrum, if I had to say anything.
Okay.
It's a bigger modem and a bigger router. But honestly, we had no problem.
Do you have to build a room for it? Oh, it's not that big. It's not that big. Okay.
No.
All right.
But it's some space in the garage.
But it is a little bit. It's a little larger. Now,
so the modem is.
And for the average person who's not uploading videos and doing all the stuff that I always talk about doing, you are, you have lights in your house maybe that are connected to your Wi-Fi. You have your watch, your phone, your iPad, all of this stuff, including your televisions. Did you notice that everything ran without the spinning? You didn't have those spinning issues? Or did you still, every once in a while, have those issues?
No, I didn't notice them as often. It wasn't something that was a nagging, like it was top of mind that I got annoyed about it. And what's great is, and I would encourage people to get the higher gigabyte or whatever.
I think their top price is like $99 for 2 gigabit service.
Yeah. So you can get. I would recommend people to get the higher level of service or data because, how it works is, I think we had the 1 gigabyte, and then or whatever it is. I'm not really technical.
That might be like $79 or something like that. I forget what it was.
Yeah. And sometimes you always got to ask. They always have promotions going on.
Yeah.
But what happens is that amount of data is spread to all your devices. So if you think, I'm only going to use 500 megabits per second, right? Well, you may want to go up a little bit because if you do have multiple streaming devices, it's going to take all that and spread it to all your devices in the home. So I would recommend, going up 1 more or 2 more than you think you need, especially if you have a large household, because, even though fiber is great and we loved it and there was really no streaming issues, you probably want to, just make it easier on yourself. And it's still going to be less than Spectrum if you really think about it.
And the other part that I think you got to keep aware of, and I'll read this, even if fiber is only as fast as your slowest piece in the network. This is some guy in the 315, and he is absolutely correct. Even if you add a 10 gigabyte internet and you only go as fast as your modem can handle. So you may need to increase your You get a better modem, better Wi-Fi. It really all depends on the equipment you're running it through, unless you're plugging directly in, which some things you can plug in directly, and that'll always be your fastest version of
that's the benefit
speed.
That's the benefit of, because there's fiber internet down here in Florida, and we have, for the boxes that we got. Thank you. We had the
we're not
the
talking
Ethernet.
about that.
No, I'm saying for telling me to go online and get it.
Well, I said, why go to Lowe's when I've got these Amazon boxes at my house that are, piling up? I mean, I hate recycling them, so I just gave them to you. It was made moving
it was
so
helpful.
much easier, didn't it?
Very helpful.
Yeah, of course it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we plugged those right into we had Ethernet ports put into the wall when we built. And it's just unbelievable. So,
so you have you in multiple areas, you can plug in directly.
Yeah,
That's
and we do
a
that.
smart move. Yeah.
Whether it be our smart TV or whatever.
Well, think about it. You can go direct into every TV. If you have any box or your Apple TV or any of that stuff, you can go direct in, and you're always going to get faster speeds if you're direct. And if you're new construction now, you should be running fiber through the house with Ethernet connections that people can plug into. That is a game changer. That's a smart move.
Yeah, and it's awesome because our HOA, our master HOA here covers our internet, so we don't see an internet bill, but we don't really have any issues.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But one thing I will too say about GoNet Speed is they will give you, I think, three different networks per se, right? One is 5G, one's 2.5, and then one is kind of like a blend or something like that. And the installer recommends when they come and they set everything up, and then they give you the apps. You can change your password very easily. You can change the name of your network, but they'll tell you, okay, if you have, security cameras outside, if you have blink or ring cameras that are wireless, go on this, put them on this network.
Okay.
Or if you've got a desktop computer, make sure you're connected.
It works better on this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good having somebody that can guide you with that, because not everybody knows those things, and I don't know those. I always wonder, should I plug into this one, or I think we get 5 gigabit and 2.5. So you're wondering which one should you plug into, and having somebody advise you on that helps. Okay,
and their customer service is great. Yeah.
So you believe it's worth it, and you save money.
Yeah. Oh, there was nothing better than when I had the installers come in. They hooked me up. They connected me. Everything was good. I knew it was working, and then I called Spectrum and I said, "I'm done."
Yeah.
And I was like, back to old Trump. You're fired.
You're fired. You're fired.
Well, what can we do? They said, "What can we do to keep you?" I said, "I'm sorry. They've already come and connected the old internet. Bye-bye."
And then they got to go down the elevator and the dramatic music and all that. It's really exciting. Yeah.
Right.
All right. That's good stuff, Andrew. I'm glad to hear it's all going well. And by the way, just for people here, what is it going to be like today where you're at? Fort Myers.
Well, I'm sitting having coffee on my lanai here, and it's looking at the mostly blue sky. It's 75 now, working its way up to 90.
Oh, boy. Well, enjoy that, all right?
I will indeed. I miss you all.
All right, we feel the same.
Dame Vernon.
Yeah, I wish you would have won the money, but next time. So we'll see.
Next time.
All right, Andrew.
Go Yankees.
Good stuff. Thank you. Go Mets. Okay. Yep.
All right. Bye.
Have a good one. The Falcon Clinic Washington Mills is accepting new patients. We heard from them yesterday. In fact, if you're having an issue and you're looking for a second opinion, call and get in. Talk to either Dr. Shemileski or Dr. Zielinski. They are taking new patients right now. It is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. And boy, they make the difference. And there are so many people that swear by them. You should try. Get that second opinion. Add them to your list. Call 315-507-4751.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
A fond farewell
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Elon Musk will get at the White House today as his tenure ends leading the Department of Government Efficiency, though to Democrats it's good riddance after Musk's controversial work pushing for federal job and spending cuts.
The president says on Truth Social this will be Musk's last day, but not really, because he will always be with us, helping all the way. Doge estimates it has saved about $175 billion, amounting to about a little more than $1,000 per taxpayer. That is far less than Musk's initial target of $2 trillion.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. The president also posted rants on Truth Social over a trade court ruling blocking many of his tariffs on imports, wondering if the judges were motivated by Trump hatred, calling their decision horrific and damaging to the United States. However, Fox's Jared Halpern reports from the White House.
A federal appeals court is allowing the Trump administration to continue collecting tariffs, putting a lower court ruling on hold that found President Trump exceeded his authority by imposing reciprocal and universal tariffs. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says cabinet officials are in touch with counterparts around the world
to let them know the United States will still be at the negotiating table.
Now to different negotiations trying to stop the war in Gaza. Here's Caroline Leavitt again.
I can confirm that Special Envoy Witkoff and the president submitted a ceasefire proposal to Hamas that Israel backed and supported.
Hamas is now reviewing that proposal to reportedly stop Israel's attack for 60 days in exchange for 10 more hostage releases. It's now 2 weeks for 2 escaped prisoners still on the run after breaking out of a New Orleans jail with 8 others who have been captured. In Arkansas, it's day 6 of the manhunt for Grant Hardin, a convicted rapist and killer who broke out of a prison Sunday.
Hardin wore a fake uniform, tricking a corrections officer into opening a secured gate. Well, wanted posters, they are up everywhere. People in the area on edge.
Fox's Brooke Taylor in Gateway, Arkansas, where Hardin used to be the police chief. America's listening to Fox News.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Is Cialis Daily really better than Viagra?
If you like spontaneity, the answer is yes. So when the mood strikes, you're ready to go.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
When you take it, you're ready to go.
Does Cialis Daily last longer than Viagra?
Guys are raving that their results last even longer.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Are 30-day sample packs available?
You can now access a 30-day sample pack at TryRexMD.com with generics if appropriate. Online approval at TryRexMD.com is simple, with medication delivered direct to your door. There's no copay, no doctor office visit, and your shipping is always free. Visit TryRexMD.com to get your sample pack. That's TryRexMD.com.
Well, for now, Harvard University can still accept foreign students.
Judge Allison Burroughs, an Obama appointee, said she's issuing a broader preliminary injunction to keep the Trump administration from blocking Harvard's ability to enroll international students. An attorney for the Trump administration said they were giving Harvard 30 more days to make its case, so no court order was needed. Judge Burroughs said she'd be issuing one anyway. The State Department says it's now examining all visa holders at Harvard, not just students. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said they're holding the university accountable for fostering violence, anti-Semitism, and coordinating with the Chinese Communist Party. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Later this hour, we're going to get an inflation update for April, a gauge the Federal Reserve watches closely when it comes to interest rate policy. It's called the Personal Consumption Expenditures. And ahead of that on Wall Street, stock futures are down slightly before the last trading day of what has been a positive May for the Dow and the NASDAQ. There is a new champion speller. A 13-year-old boy from TEXAS.
A Claire C. Small. ECLAIRCISSEMENT. A Claire C. Small. That is correct.
Faizan Zaki won the Scripps National Spelling Bee on ION television the year after he was the runner-up. The New York Knicks still alive in the NBA playoffs.
Under 3 to play in the third. Brunson with a 3. And the foul.
Jalen Brunson scored 32 points, leading the Knicks to a 111-94 win over the Pacers on TNT, forcing a Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Tomorrow, Indiana still leads New York 3-2. In the NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup final rematch set.
Oilers 6, Stars 3. Edmonton won the Western Conference Final at Dallas in Game 5 to advance to the Stanley Cup final against the Panthers for the second year in a row. Last year, the Panthers won the first 3 games against the Oilers, and then Edmonton won 3 in a row before Florida won its first Stanley Cup in Game 7.
That's Jared Max. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update, brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica Commercial Drive in Yorkville. 60 degrees right now under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up next. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office responded to a fully involved barn fire in Floyd yesterday. Authorities say a party drove by the Cemetery Road barn around 9:30 a.m. and notified authorities of the blaze. The barn was fully involved and had spread to a nearby milk house. To protect the public, Cemetery Road between Rabbit Road and Phillips Road was closed. Authorities say no one was inside the barn or suffered injuries as the owners were not home at the time. Unfortunately, 2 horses and 8 calves were killed. 1 calf survived. Other dairy cows that weren't near the fire are being brought by friends, family, and neighbors to other locations. The cause of the fire remains under investigation by Rome Fire Department. Lee Center parents are sounding the alarm over repeated instances of cars flying by stopped school buses that are picking up children. A parent that lives on Turin Road named Caitlin Stein says she regularly sees drivers speeding past buses that have their red lights flashing without even stopping if children can be seen near the bus. Stein shared a video of one such incident where 3 cars drive past the bus as it was picking up her son. Other parents have commented on the video to share similar stories. Police say it's illegal to pass a stopped school bus when its lights are flashing. The community says more needs to be done to protect the children. There may be more to the story about Rhett, the pit bull mix that was abandoned in an apartment in Kirkland. While Rhett is inching back from death's door after he was found severely emaciated and covered in fleas, some neighbors believe there was another dog in that apartment that didn't make it. Speaking to WKTV, Sheriff Rob Mashel said deputies found a bone of some animal and are trying to determine what it is. Authorities have charged Lindsay Meelan in the animal cruelty case, where she faces a felony. She is due back in Kirkland Town Court, where her father is the town supervisor, which is sparking concerns. Mashel said it's likely the judge or jurisdiction will change in regards to the case. Finding mental health, addiction treatment, and community resources is now a bit easier for Oneida County residents. The county says its OC Cares app is available for download on smartphones. The app will support the county's mission of not only having a one-stop shop for all things mental health, but to show the county cares about folks who live in its communities. Among the things available are crisis services, safety plans, and career-specific support. And the New York Racing Association is revealing some policies that'll be in effect for the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. Fans are not allowed to carry alcohol into the Saratoga Racecourse from June 5th through the 7th, and cash will not be accepted for things such as admission, parking, or programs. Each fan can have 1 folding chair for use in the backyard, but wagons, pop-up tents, and folding tables are not permitted Thursday to Saturday. Additional policies can be found at nyra.com. Your WIBX news time is 8:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Another area of low pressure coming in, and that means more wet weather possible and cool temperatures. Next week's going to be nice, at least through midweek, I promise. So we'll get through the next couple of days, and then we'll have some better weather. Today's not going to be terrible. Some partial sunshine, 75. Showers tonight, late 53. 40s North Country. A few showers, thunderstorms, 60 tomorrow. Chance of showers Sunday, 60. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
60 degrees under cloudy skies. Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by the IBEW 43 local sports desk. The Eastern Conference Finals in the NBA. They're not over yet. The Knicks staved off elimination with a 111-94 win over the Pacers in Game 5. Jalen Brunson led all scorers with 32 points as New York now trails the best-of-7 series 3-2. Indy will try to close out the series on home court Saturday night. The Thunder already advanced after dispatching the Timberwolves in 5 games out west. The Stanley Cup final is officially set. The Oilers are going back to the Cup final after beating the Dallas Stars in Game 5 of the Western Conference Final. Edmonton failed to win last year's title after losing to the Panthers in 7 games. Florida is making its 3rd straight trip to the Stanley Cup final and is seeking its 2nd straight championship. This marks the 12th rematch in the Stanley Cup final since the NHL expanded from the original 6. The Mets wrap up their 9-game homestand this weekend. New York is hosting the Colorado Rockies for a 3-game set that begins tonight in Queens. The Mets hoping to bounce back from a loss to the White Sox in their series finale, the Yankees. And they are out for revenge. They fell to the Dodgers in last year's Fall Classic, and now they're visiting the World Series champs for a 3-game series beginning tonight. They lead the AL East after winning 5 straight games. The Jets' new starting quarterback, he isn't lacking in confidence. Justin Fields says that after the Jets' 5th OTA practice, that he thinks he can be great for the green and white. Fields believes the sky is the limit for the team, but he also recognized they do have a long way to go. Cam Skattebo was surprised to hear his name called by the Giants on draft day. The 4th-round pick revealed on the St. Brown podcast that he didn't think the Giants would take him after he was late to his top 30 visit. New York selected Skattebo with the 105th pick in the draft. The NFL preseason is heading to primetime. The league announced on Thursday that 5 exhibition games will be nationally televised, starting with the Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and the Lions in Canton on July 31st. A pack of Week 2 games are on the slate when the Bills visit the Bears on August 7th, and the Commanders entertain the Bengals the night after. Back-to-back matchups kick off on the 21st and 22nd. When the Patriots head to the Giants and the Titans play host to the Vikings in Week 3. And finally, Ben Griffin sitting atop the leaderboard of the Memorial Tournament. Griffin shot a 7 under 65 in the opening round of the Muirfield Village Golf Club. This is the first time in Griffin's tour career that he has a lead after 18 holes. Colin Morikawa is in second place after 5 under par. Max Homa rounds out the top 3 at 4 under. Andrew Novak and Lucas Glover will be among the first pair of players teeing off in round 2. Your WIBX news time is 8:11, 60 degrees under cloudy skies. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
So how bad is the growing season? We'll speak with Farmer Ben, coming up in just a second at WIBX. Want to tell you about a way to get rid of the pain. We're talking about Revive Soft Wave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. Neck pain, back pain, knee pain, wrist, arthritis, shoulders, and more. Soft Wave Therapy can help. It's FDA cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free for chronic pain, inflammation, and all joint issues. Ask about the $99 new patient special. Introductory discovery session includes a consultation with one of their doctors, soft wave therapy treatment, and a treatment recovery plan and assessment. It really increases blood supply to the area, stimulates and activates stem cells, and really kind of changes the world when it comes to injuries, back pain, shoulder pain, whatever pain that you're having. But it allows your own body to help recover and repair and ultimately eliminate the pain. Call today, 315-725-8427. Trusted by pro athletes and medical experts all over, from the Giants to the Lakers, the Nets, and even the Knicks. Maybe it's the reason they're staying alive. Revive Soft Wave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. Call 315-725-8427.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app with over 16 million subscriptions sold? Well, we thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. She's an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face, listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent?
Precio.
Keith's a real people person and a curious learner, so he loves Babbel's Culture Bites, full of insights and native knowledge about the language he's learning. Like, what's served for Christmas dinner in Germany?
Glühwein, Weihnachtsgans und Christmasstollen.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Business owners everywhere are raving about ZipRecruiter's new feature, Zip Intro, which does the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates to meet with you as soon as the next day. So we decided to call up some of these employers and hear their stories. Today, we're on the phone with Pilates studio owner Crystal M. Harris. Crystal, how has Zip Intro helped you hire?
Well, I was opening a Pilates studio in McDonough, Georgia, and I needed to staff up quickly. Zip Intro did the work for me. It helped me find enthusiastic candidates who matched my qualifications perfectly.
That's great.
Yeah, I had my Zip intro session on Tuesday, did all the interviews by Thursday, sent out the offers on Friday, and they started on Monday. Because Zip intro did most of the work, I saved so much time.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, you can try Zip Intro for free right now at ziprecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
There's a place to share the joy of your team winning it all, and a place to share a laugh about skiing and taking a fall. There's a place to share photos of pets, or singing in the choir, or the time you ate a pepper and your mouth was on fire. But we could all be better at sharing how we're feeling inside. 76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone. Ask about your company's emotional health benefits. Visit heart.org/sharing. Brought to you by the American Heart Association.
The 2025 Boilermaker is about to sell out, and WIBX with Fit Body Bootcamp of Clinton and Whitesboro is giving you the chance to get in the action. Score an official running bib to the 2025 Boilermaker Road Race by entering on the WIBX station app. Get your entry in by June 22nd, and you could be running in one of America's most famous races on July 13th. So run, don't walk to register now to win one of the exclusive Boilermaker running bibs thanks to WIBX and Fit Body Bootcamp of Clinton and Whitesboro.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, a couple of things to get into here before we get into Farmer Ben's. Karen just went to the DMV and the train station building is closed. Speaking this morning officially with Kevin Revere, there is a water main break near the train station. Police announced the building will be closed for the day, and that includes the DMV. And that's a water main break that is caused that. Let's see what else I'm getting. Yes, Allison, you are absolutely correct, and I feel your pain. I'm speaking to my wife. I apparently had a really tumbling night in bed, and luckily we have one of those beds where you can put a glass of wine right on the bed, and nothing happens. Yeah.
I'm hoping they get the water main break so Beth Irons can have her farmer's market tomorrow.
Yes. Right now, it looks like they'll have that corrected. Good. Okay, that's not true. I just said that. Right now, there's no word on tomorrow. I should say it that way. Yeah. There's no word on tomorrow. They're only saying that it is closed today. My assumption is that it would be corrected so that she'll be able to continue tomorrow, because you keep in mind you have train service out of there as well. You have to worry about. Okay, that's Kevin. That's that. Karen, thank you. Bill Morehouse. Boy, Bill, are you stupid? He didn't really say that, but I usually expect that from him.
Okay.
Game 6, and I was incorrect here. Game 6 of the Knicks-Indiana series. Davey, I thought this was like Major League Baseball, where you play 2, 3, and 2.
No, it's 2, 2, 1, 1, 1.
Okay, so the Knicks at home last night win.
Yep.
Now they have a day off. They're on their way to Indiana
on tomorrow
where
night.
They'll play tomorrow night. If they can stay alive, they'll come back to Madison Square Garden and close out Game 7.
Yeah, but that doesn't give them a very many time to celebrate because the NBA final starts on Thursday, and it will be at the higher seed, which is OKC, Oklahoma City.
Well, but the reality is, if they could get through this and actually win and make it to the finals, that's a big deal.
Sure would.
That's really, really awesome.
I'm not a big NBA fan, but I'm kind of rooting for the Knicks, so hopefully they can bring the championship back to New York City.
I'm trying to read through a few comments here. Mike this morning, my belief is creativity is plagiarism from many sources. That is so true, Mike. Water main break, Union Station. Larry, you're right. Julie, can't read that. Joe, how do you know this stuff? Where does that come from? Well, I don't know what you're referencing, Joe, but I will say this. Based on just the statement alone, I'll reply this way. I don't. I just make this crap up. That's probably the case. Wayne says, I like that reminder. I don't know where that came from. Stefan. What happened with Stefan? Last night.
Should we tell what he did?
I'm just going to say this. And I hate to share these things, but it's just getting ridiculous. And I have people saying, why do you even participate? Why do you even take the call? I always will. Unfortunately, maybe that makes me an idiot. However, last night I've not been feeling the greatest in the last week. So my wife and I, she loves, if I ever say, you know what, it's 8:45, let's just go to bed. She's all in on that. It's like, boom. I'm like, where'd she go? She's in bed waiting. And this, by the way, is forced sleep. I'm not going down any weird road. And last night we were by 8:45, and it's now 9:20. I get a phone call. It's Stefan. And Bill, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm like, Stefan, what are you doing in Cleveland, Ohio? I am here to watch a woman's bowling meet. What?
Number one, can I ask you a question?
First of all, number one, there's TV for that crap.
How the heck does he find out all this stuff?
I don't know. That's a really good point, because I'm going to tell you, if somebody said to me, there's a big bowling tournament happening in Cleveland, Ohio, I would not know the first thing about getting myself the public transportation, getting there, and actually finding where the event is and how to get tickets.
Well, he does it.
He did it. And then the only the only problem is I didn't bring any money. So he's there with $5 to his name. And my answer to that was nothing I can do. I can't send you money. I can't.
So he didn't plan this out very well. He just got on a bus and went.
Every time. Oh. Last week it was Poughkeepsie. But Cleveland, Ohio, of all places.
He's going to meet up with Drew Carey and sing this Cleveland Rocks. Cleveland Rocks.
Let me say this. As I said to him last night, you better not be screwing around there, because you're in another state. And as you get to places like Ohio, they're closer to places like Kentucky, which are closer to places that don't necessarily love New Yorkers. And let me tell you, you will wind up in jail, and they will not be like, oh, it's Stefan. They will be tough on you, and that could be a real problem.
Yeah, like the text we got yesterday afternoon that he went up and told the cop that he was from New York, and
the cop said, "Well, you're not in New York, son.
You're in Ohio.
If you don't have a place to go, you're going to jail." Is what the cop said to him. Wow. Yeah. Meanwhile, my wife's like, "Hang up." So I did. Stefan, man, oh man, I just cannot keep up with it. Deeds, I'm with you, Deeds. I do not know the answer. I don't know how to solve that problem. I can't solve the problem. And the other part of this is, as my wife always says, listen, we have 3 children. We have our own things that we have to deal with. We have parents. We have our own lives to deal with. Yeah. And to deal with, and we can't go fixing everybody's problems. I do have this in my mind where I can fix all of these things. We're going to make this work.
Till your wife gets a hold of you.
Till she gets a hold of me and puts the reality back in, some realism back in. Yeah. And I realize that I can't fix, you can't fix this stuff. You just can't. Any comments on the app that I want to go to today? I don't know that there are. I'm looking for that. I'm going nowhere. and then I did the YouTube comments. Do you have anything else, Davey, I should be looking at?
Nope.
All right, in studio. Oh, would you mind tolerating me, Ben, for just a minute?
Sure.
Because as long as you're good for the hour, we're going to let you hang in here with us. Okay, so I was talking about John Fogerty, who's doing his own. He's kind of taken a Taylor Swift concept where he's creating his own version of the band's classic songs. So he will then put them out. You'll buy them. He'll make money off them. The only difference is that he now owns the Creedence catalog from since 2023. He bought it back after all of that controversy. So he's produced these songs with in parentheses, John's version. So this is Up Around the Bend, John's version. Do you want to hear a little piece of it? Are you a CCR fan?
I am.
I am too. Here is Up Around the Bend, his version. Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I was expecting garbage.
I like it.
I was expecting, he's got to be in his 80s now, right? Early 80s. That sounds really good. That sounds like the original.
Come on and rise and win. We're going up around the bend.
That's really good.
I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy, but I like that.
Here's one that is applicable to us these days. John Fogerty's new recording of Have You Ever Seen the Rain? I say it is typical for us because that's all we have seen is rain. The original CCR version came out in 1970, the year they came out with 2 albums. In 1969, they released 3. This was the hottest band in America at the time, even surpassing the popularity of the Beatles by the late 60s, early 1970s. CCR was enormous. And here is his version of Have You Ever Seen the Rain? So far, the music's right there. I mean, the music is there.
Someone told me long ago there's a calm before the storm. I know, and it's been coming for some time.
I gotta say, this is really good too.
When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day. I know, the shining.
See, I'll just listen a little longer to see if he hits the chorus. He goes up in the chorus. Here we go.
I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain?
Now you hear a little difference there.
I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down the sunny day?
I got to say that while not exact, that is pretty darn good.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I'd listen.
Could you take that little black windscreen off your microphone there? Just rip that right off and get right up and nice and tight to the mic if you could. In studio right now is Farmer Ben. You like that?
I did. I enjoyed that.
You'd put that on in the tractor as you're doing something.
I would put that on the tractor. I enjoyed that. And have we seen the rain?
Okay, let's
you
talk
must
about
have been
that.
in upstate New York.
This has been, I was speaking to my parents, and they must have where they live. There must be a spring, and it is just coming up, and it's coming up to the ground, and they just are in a situation where they just cannot. They can't mow anywhere in that area because it's just you'll sink right in.
Well, what's
terrible?
happening?
A lot of people have that problem.
Right.
Farmers have the big problem.
We're dealing with it. What's happening, Bill, is the water table now is getting right up to the surface of the ground.
Yeah.
And on a normal dry year, the water table kind of settles down after the snow. I don't want to say 6 inches or a foot because everybody's a little different. But with the amount of rain that we're having, the water table is right under the grass layer.
Yeah.
And so walking on the grass, and whether it's in your lawn or my hay fields, you're basically walking on a carpet with the water level right under the root system.
Where I live currently, we are on a slight grade. So starting from the road and going upward, just a slight grade. And then it comes, you'll level it out in spots, create your landscaping and all of that. But it is always on that very slight grade, which has allowed the water to then drain off.
Yeah.
However, if you go across the street and you look at neighbors' properties, they're struggling because they are now almost as if they're in that valley, even though it's not that. But if you can be in that situation, you're much better off.
Right.
But if you have level property and any hill around, you're going to get that water's coming down to
pool.
You. And there's so much of it.
The other problem you got, Bill, where you live, because I've been to your house a few times, and you got a beautiful home, but you have so much pavement around you.
True.
And so it's not it doesn't permeate. The water can't go through it.
Right.
So what little bit of lawns are in your area, they're just sucked up so much water.
Yeah. So
that is a problem.
We do look like we have some relief coming.
We do.
In fact, some warmer temperatures, too, finally.
We need it.
And it does seem like we're moving out of this 50s, 60s mess to 70s and 80s.
Some of that western heat is
week.
going to start moving our way.
But the rain's coming again. By the end of next week, we're right back, and it may change. Hopefully it does. But right now, looks like we're right back into rain. How much has this delayed something like sweet corn?
All of it.
Yeah.
Very much. Everything's pushed back. I was in a week or so ago with you telling everything's a week, 10 days behind. We're now crowding more like 2 to 3 weeks behind.
So what does that mean?
So that means that us farmers that are planting our crops aren't getting the seed in the ground on a timely manner. And some of us that are mudding it in, that's the word that we're using, mudding it in, that seed's not germinating because the soil is so cold.
Yeah.
And we don't have that bright sunshine to draw the plants out of the ground. So everything's running behind, everything.
Does that mean that we will, so normally by the end of July, you're getting native, fresh sweet corn.
So if you're used to getting it.
You may not be getting it until the second week in August.
Correct. Yep. And so what's going to happen is all your crops that you're used to buying, the strawberries are running a little bit behind. They're good, but they need some sun.
I heard it'd be a good year for strawberries.
It's going to be a good year because we didn't get no frost when they were blooming, and all this water has made them really plump and juicy. But now we need some sunlight to ripen them. And the corn crop and the cucumbers and everything else, they need sunlight now. The other problem we're having is that the hay crop is ready and to harvest. And the larger dairies that cut their hay really short to get the highest protein and energy, they've been put on hold because if they go out in their fields, they're just going to tear their fields all up.
Yeah.
And most farmers that I'm talking to in the past few days are 50% at their planting schedule, where normally they're winding up their planting and starting to chop the grass, harvest the grass.
Yeah.
Me up on my farm up there on Star Hill, we're just a whisker above 50% of our planting schedule. But that's because the past 2 days we put in like 30 hours. We work in 15, 16-hour days, middle of the night, 1 o'clock in the morning planting. The hay crop is ready. So I'm looking forward to this extended heat that's coming next week, and maybe on Sunday afternoon cut some hay.
Looks like Wednesday or Thursday, like upper 80s.
Correct.
So it's going to be some warm weather coming.
But we got to find some dry land to cut the hay on.
I know.
But the thing I really want to emphasize on today is a couple of things, Bill. One is we're going to have a beautiful day today. Eric Gage was on saying it's going to be a beautiful day today, Friday. And today is Farm Fest up at the Donito Farms on Benton Road. And that is, for your listeners, that's 6585 Benton Road. Basically, if you get on River Road, follow the signs. Their farm is right in between the cities of Rome and Utica. They're opening their total farm right up, and there's going to be concession people there. There's going to be booths there from Cooperative Extension, Soil and Water, to describe what farmers do on their farms. The farm's going to be open. There'll be tours around the farm for the milking facility.
Okay.
And Clinton Tractor has donated for the day use a couple tractors and some big hay wagons.
That's going on today.
That's going on today, 4:30 this afternoon to about 8:30.
All right.
Come out and meet your neighboring farmers because everybody's going to be there. We're expecting a pretty good turnout with this beautiful day.
Yeah.
And it is sponsored by the United County Farm Bureau, the United County Cornell Cooperative Extension, and the United County Dairy Promotion.
Okay.
And the reason for this is we want to get the non-farm public on the farm to understand how we do and what we do on the farms. So it is open to the general public.
Okay.
Grab up the kids and come out for supper. Going to be chicken barbecue, hay mazes, and everything else.
All stuff with, believe it or not, nice weather.
Yep.
Hard to believe we're going to get some decent weather.
And there's no charge except for maybe a little donation for the parking.
Take
Open to the
advantage-
family.
Take advantage of it now because, unfortunately, by tomorrow we're going to be dealing, or tonight really even, we're going to be dealing with rain.
So grab up
unfortunately.
the kids after
All right.
school and let's go.
All right, we'll plug that one more time before we get out of here. Stand by. We'll take a break and come right back here. I have a bunch to get to. We'll speak with Sheriff Rob Mashel coming up in a second.
Coming now.
Full update on news is next on WIBX.
Yesterday and days before.
This station is brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more info.
Rachel grew up in a family where alcohol was present most of the time.
We had fighting and abuse, yet to the outside world it appeared that we were normal.
Rachel used alcohol to give her confidence and something more.
It gave me a sense of belonging because I didn't have friends. Just made me numb.
Is someone you love using alcohol to fill a void? For a free booklet dealing with alcoholism, call 800-245-7894.
I started my adventure in the Air Force Reserve as a payload system operator.
Flight medic in the Air Force Reserve.
I'm a pilot for the Air Force Thunderbirds demonstration team.
We do a lot in a little bit of time, and we have to do it very efficiently.
It's a very exciting career.
The reserve gave me the opportunity to learn something totally different from what I did.
The training in the Air Force Reserve is second to none.
The most exciting thing in the Air Force Reserve is to be able to travel.
It gave me the opportunity to go to college.
That was definitely a bonus.
And the Air Force Reserve gave me all those opportunities, and then even more.
Start your adventure in the Air Force Reserve.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update, brought to you by the new Destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. Lee Center parents are sounding the alarm over repeated instances of cars flying by stopped school buses picking up children. A parent that lives on Turin Road named Caitlin Stein says she regularly sees drivers speeding past buses that have their red lights flashing without even stopping, even if children can be seen near the bus. Stein shared a video on Facebook of one such incident where 3 cars drive past the bus as it was picking up her son. Other parents have commented on the video to share similar stories. Police say it is illegal to pass a stopped school bus with its lights flashing. The community says more needs to be done to protect their children. Congress members across several states, including New York, are calling on President Trump to fight for the release of all remaining hostages held by Hamas. They're urging Trump to keep up the momentum following the recent release of New Jersey native Eden Alexander, who is believed to be the last living U.S. citizen held captive. Members say Alexander's return has brought renewed hope to the nation, but they continue pushing for the remains of at least 4 other U.S. citizens to be returned, including Long Island native Omer Nutra. Finding mental health, addiction treatment, and community resources is now a bit easier for Oneida County residents. The county says its OC Cares app is available for download on smartphones. The app will support the county's mission of not only having a one-stop shop for all things mental health, but to show the county cares about folks who live in its communities. Among the things available are crisis services, safety plans, and career-specific support. And one of the biggest boy bands of the late 90s and early 2000s is coming to the New York State Fair. 98 Degrees will perform on the Suburban Park stage on Monday, August 25th at 8 p.m. The group is known for smash hit songs such as Because of You, The Hardest Thing, and Give Me Just One Night. There's no cost to see the concert because it's included in daily admission to the fair, which runs from August 20th through September 1st. Your Weather Center forecast is next, and it's brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more info.
Another area of low pressure coming in, and that means more wet weather possible and cool temperatures. Next week's going to be nice, at least through midweek, I promise. So we'll get through the next couple of days. and then we'll have some better weather. Today's not going to be terrible. Some partial sunshine, 75. Showers tonight, late 53. 40s North Country. A few showers, thunderstorms, 60 tomorrow. Chance of showers Sunday, 60. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagik, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
We have a little bit of peaks of sunshine out there. So overcast skies, mostly cloudy, 60 degrees now at WIBX.
Mattress Express is proud to announce we have added Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta Eye Comfort, and Avocado, the big online brand, to our lineup in all of our stores. Go to mattressexpressny.com or call 1-800-NEW-BED.
At Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer, we proudly salute those who serve. Right now, military members, active, reserve, or retired, can receive an additional $750 rebate as our way of saying thank you. Looking for a powerful new Chevy truck? Check out the 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT 4-wheel drive. Now with 0.9% financing for 60 months, plus a whopping $6,750 in total rebates. Or explore our huge selection of Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicles with financing as low as 4.99% for up to 72 months. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, together, let's drive to Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer, where it's always easy to do business. With approved top-tier credit through GM Financial, Silverado offer requires 2011 or newer trade-in and 2011 or newer Chevrolet in household. Must be active, reserve, or retired military. Taxes and fees due at delivery. Offers end May 31st. See dealer for complete details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
In studio here this morning is Farmer Ben. We're going to talk to Sheriff Rob Machel coming up in a moment, who's also a farmer and someone who wasn't a farmer, who chose farming later in life as I don't want to call it a hobby because he's doing the real deal right now, right? He is he's working the farm. I did want to bring this in if I could. I don't know if you saw this, Davey. Did you see the story of the flight? I believe this is Orlando. They're trying to get out, and it's being delayed by 2 hours. And so they're sitting on the tarmac. Then they're rounding the airport, going around and round. And a woman said to the flight attendant, "You know, my daughter sings really well Disney songs." So the flight attendant gave the microphone to the young girl, who began singing Disney tunes over and over and over again. Now, some who describe it say it was enjoyable for the first 30 seconds and then became really annoying.
I know everybody on this island has a role on this island, so maybe I can roll with mine. I can make us strong, I can lead with pride, I'll be satisfied in my play.
This went on for better of 90 minutes, maybe 90 minutes to close to 2 hours. How would you handle that, Ben?
I'd try to find them headphones.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Bring noise-canceling headphones.
Yeah.
Because if this ever happens, the other thing you should probably bring along is a little fan. Because if you're sitting on there and there's they have these USB plug-in fans that you can charge. and you're sitting there, and it's like in Florida, 110 degrees. The air conditioning's not working on the plane. You're just sitting there. One of those little fans will help. But the worst thing in the world is having to listen, in my opinion, to that little girl sing Disney songs over and over.
The intention was good,
again.
but it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah, there had to come a point where the flight attendant was like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
And that kind of didn't happen. Sheriff Rob Mashel on the line right now. Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I believe you would have arrested the girl, to be honest.
I'm not going to comment.
Yeah. I'm. You can only handle so much, for God's sake.
This is true.
Okay, we have a lot in the news. Let's start with the farm barn fire from last night.
Yeah, just a tragic fire yesterday. Came in yesterday morning. Yesterday in the morning. One of our cars was a few minutes away when they arrived on scene. It was fully involved. Our own fire department was right behind them real quick. Sadly, they lost 2 horses and I believe 8 calves, baby cows.
Yeah.
So just a tragedy. But the Rome Fire Department still is trying to determine the cause, and I spoke with the fire chief last night. Anything they need from us, they'll reach out. And it is in the outer district of Rome, but it's still in the Rome limits. So that's why it's a little confusing with jurisdiction. But again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family. Just a tragic thing to have happen, and just a really nice farm, well kept. Always drive by it and see a couple of horses out, and just a well groomed farm. Just sad when you see that happen. Definitely hits hard.
And I'm assuming, and this could be for you or Ben, I'm assuming on a farm there's just so much that can be flammable.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, like I said, there's no. I have no information at this point from Rome Fire. That's theirs. So
the nice thing about it, Bill, I'd like to say is during the fire, all the farmers that heard about it, the phone tree starts to work.
Yep.
The farmers rallied right around. They got there. They rounded up the cows. They didn't lose any milking cows due to the farmer got done. Matt Langton got done milking, and another farmer in Steuben hosted them cows. Said, bring them over. Put them in our own. It happened to be right in our own neighborhood of Rob Mashel and mine. So the farmers rallied. The cows are being milked, and we got to see what the farmer wants to do for the future.
And that is important, making sure you keep the milking schedule.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't skip a milking with a cow. They'll get mastitis and get sick.
I want to. I do want to bring up, Sheriff. There are more stories out there about people complaining. In this case, it's just neighbors complaining that there are more and more vehicles passing stopped school buses.
Yeah,
Big problem.
I did see a couple of videos that have been shared in the town of Lee. The one thing I recommend to people, please, when this is happening, call law enforcement, whether it's the sheriff's office, the state police. Putting it on social media is great to get the word out, but that does nothing for the enforcement. I mean, when there's a hot spot, we need to know about it. I just did my annual report because, as you know, we have about 198 cameras on school buses around Oneida County. Yeah. I'm required by state legislation to report to the state of New York how many bus tickets we write each year under that new law that they gave us a few years ago. We, again, second year in a row, we wrote actually this year's down a little bit from the previous year. We wrote just under 1,000 tickets for past stop school buses throughout Oneida County. Last year, I think it was about 1,200. So it's a problem. It's continuing to be a problem. It's a dangerous problem. So parents, give us a call. Either if you don't want to call law enforcement, let the school bus know, or school bus transportation department know. Bus drivers are great when these buses or cars pass their buses. They'll notify their transportation office. They, in turn, notify law enforcement. We have to know about it. And when there's a hot spot like that, if those buses in that neighborhood aren't one of the ones equipped with cameras, we'll put a patrol car there. We'll put an unmarked car there. You know what I mean? That's what we want to do. We want to be able to do this. But I can't do something about it if I don't know about it till after it happened. You know what I mean?
Can you, if someone delivered to you a videotape of something they witnessed, does that become evidence to the point where you could possibly make an arrest?
It could, as long as we're able to, get a plate number. And then the problem is under the traditional traffic ticket issue that we still can do for passing stop school buses. It's actually Section 1174 under the New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law. We need to identify the driver. So it's a little bit of legwork, but we will do it. We'll need a witness who saw it, who can give us a plate number, and then we have to identify the driver. So that's where it gets a little tricky and a little time consuming. that's why, the cameras are awesome, because we don't need any of that. We're seeing it live when it happens. The system kicks out a ticket, and then it goes in the mail within a day or two of the bus passing. So it's just the technology is really helping us with this problem. But, when there's a hot spot, parents, please let law enforcement know. Let us know.
You know what annoys me is when you're sitting at an intersection and somebody opens the door and you see they take a bag of, I don't know, consumed fast food, put the bag out and put it underneath their car.
Yep.
I want to grab that bag and follow them to their house, but that's probably not a good idea.
That's not a good idea. Get the plate number and call the sheriff, and then we'll take it from there.
So you witnessing that, you could be the witness that ultimately, because you're destroying your own area. Why would you do that? I don't understand it.
Unfortunately, a lot of people do that. We see that a lot in the country. I think I'm constantly, believe it or not, I live in the middle of nowhere, and I'm constantly out in front of my house picking up, beer cans or whatnot. And I'm guessing someone's having a couple drinks before they get home, and they don't want to leave the evidence in their car, so they toss it on the way. So, it's unfortunate.
And us farmers, like Rob said, us farmers are struggling with it because they throw their aluminum cans out in the hay, and then we come along with our hay equipment, harvest the hay, and then shrapnel from that metal can gets into the bale of hay. If we don't spot it and a cow ingests it, cows will die of hardware.
That's interesting.
How's that, Rob? That's pretty accurate.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. So, and Ben can tell you how they actually put magnets in cows' stomachs so that if they do ingest metal, it'll attach right to it and not go through their system. So,
wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
We struggle with it, especially the fields that are next to the road. People don't think nothing about throwing garbage out.
I know.
We're having to feed it to our cows.
Idiots. And then finally, how are you doing with all this weather? I mean, just so much rain. You don't have the warmth that you would expect by this time. How are you guys doing at your farm?
It is what it is. We're dealing with it. The one thing that is growing really well, Bill, is the lawn. So
yeah, I know.
I cannot keep up with the lawn. This is the first time in 10 years that I've had to rake the grass clippings because I always leave them because that's the best thing for the lawn. But literally, they are so thick, it will mat down the grass underneath it, and it can't grow back. So I've never had to rake, but my cows are enjoying the grass clippings when I throw it over the fence. So
it kind of looks like you're haying. You're doing some haying work.
Yeah, that's right. Probably not. We won't be doing the real haying for probably 3 weeks just because it's so wet.
Boy.
It's so
wet.
Now,
what would you expect with the heat coming this week? Are we to expect the liquid manure like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? That's something like that?
Well, that's probably a better question for Ben. I'm not sure, but
the hay crop is ready to cut. It's just now we got to wait for the land to be conducive to dry the hay on the land.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's a lot of hay.
Going into the weekend, anything else you want people to know, Sheriff?
No, just again, obviously we're not. I doubt there's going to be a whole lot of boating going on this weekend, but they're just because of the weather. Next week looks good. We just want summer to come here. I know people are frustrated. There's just so much going on. I know, again, even here at the sheriff's office, our programs unit in the jail, they've been out several times this week trying to do all the horticultural work out in front of the facility because it's all done with labor from the incarcerated people in the jail. And actually, the plants are grown locally and they're planted here at the jail, along, with inmate assistance. Teaching them some horticulture so that when they do transition out to the community, on a positive note, maybe we can find them a job. But we're able to do that. We're a little bit behind. We just next week, not next week, the week after, June 7th, we're preparing for our ceremony for the anniversary remembrance ceremony for Deputy Kurt Wyman, who was killed in the line of duty on June 7th in 2011.
Yeah.
So each year we do a ceremony here at the sheriff's office. So that's our main goal right now is to get everything planted out front so the memorial looks good for that upcoming ceremony.
It does seem like we're looking at a transition into, 70s and 80s versus 50s and 60s.
I hope so. I saw a special last night on the news that the wildfires, believe it or not, north up in Canada, they are dealing with severe drought. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, terrible.
The wildfires are going. There's about 11,000 acres that have burned so far. And right now, according to the track, it seems like the smoke will all be south of New York. state. And I hope that track stays the same, because we know a couple of years ago that definitely affected our summer.
Well, and remember the fires were in the northeast part of Canada as well, and that came down, and it's much easier for that to come down. But it does look like what I was looking at as well. It looks like it's going to go to the south. The Carolinas are probably going to see it. But man, if you're any of those Midwestern states to the on the north, you're gonna go through what we went through a couple of years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's terrible. Okay.
The other thing I'd like to say before Rob goes is, with this summer weather coming here Monday through Thursday of next week, please, when you're out in the rural community, please pay attention, because the farmers are going to be out and they're rushing. They're trying to get their seeds in the ground and trying to harvest their hay. Would you like to add to that, Rob?
And that's a good point. Obviously, we haven't seen a whole lot of traffic on the country roads with large farm equipment because of the weather. But as Ben said, you're probably going to see a lot of it passing by here coming soon. Whether it's fertilizing fields, plowing fields, some are chopping hay. I'm seeing some of the local farms, they're doing both things at the same time, just because everybody's behind.
Yeah, everybody's behind. All right,
Yes,
Sheriff,
sir.
have a
Very
wonderful
good.
weekend. Thank you.
All right, and I'm probably in trouble because I'm stealing Ben's airtime. But
you are going to pay for that.
That's right. All right, guys, have a good
All
day.
right, thanks so much.
Talk to you later.
Bye, Rob.
Bye-bye.
Sheriff Rob Mashel. Anything you want to add before we're done here, Ben?
Just that on social media, there's a couple downstate legislators there that are trying to put a cap on the dairy farms in New York State so they don't grow over 700 cows. I can pretty much assure you, with Marianne Buttonshaw and Brian Miller and Senator Joe Griffo on top of this, that's going to go nowhere, because the state of New York's invested a lot of money in dairy infrastructure.
And right now you have Chobani. We're ramping up.
We need to ramp up.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you see that about limiting the farms, that's just some downstaters that are trying to regulate what the upstate's doing. And I really wish those people downstate would pay attention and let the upstaters take care of our livelihood.
Well, the stuff that we understand.
Correct. Those people in the Bronx and Brooklyn and Manhattan have no idea what goes on up here. Be like you and I, Bill, regulating what goes on in New York City.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Although I think I could do a better job than what's currently being done.
Yeah.
Just saying.
They need to take care of their
own. All right,
own.
Ben, thank you.
No, thank you, Bill.
Enjoy the weekend. I want to tell you, really, this is something important in the Utica area. Lead-free Mohawk Valley is working to a lead-safe Utica, which really affects children. And it is important to get your child tested for lead. In New York, blood lead tests are required for all children ages 1 and 2. Lead poisoning can do so much damage. Many details available at leadfreemv.org, leadfreemv.org. Now, if you are a homeowner or a renter, go to leadfree.org. That's leadfreemv.org for details. But if you're a landlord and you own the property and you're saying, listen, we just, we're nickel and diamond here. There are programs out there that can help you. There's a chance you could get this done, and it won't cost you anything. If you're a landlord, I feel it's a responsibility to not put your tenants in a difficult situation. And this program, leadfreemv.org, is making it easy for you. So reach out to them. Go to the website, and let's strive for a lead-safe city of Utica. Go to leadfreemv.org for details. And let me tell you a couple of quickies. Brand Construction, concrete, masonry work, whatever it is you need done. If it's concrete work, it's Brand Construction. Call 315-894-3481. From stairways to cellarway entrances, basement floors, again, chimneys. If it's concrete, it's Brank. And then, before I go, I'm going to be seeing Ricky Z today, as a matter of fact, at Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Another family member interested in a new Mazda. Enjoy 0.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s, 5s, 50s, 70s, and my favorite, the CX-90. You can see Rick or Wyatt or anyone we deal with over there, anybody at the dealership, for details. Mazda finished 2024 with a 16.8% sales increase year over year and was awarded more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than any other brand. They really, really take care of you. During the sale, after the sale, and with service tremendously. Let's make your deal on a new Steepani Mazda from Ricky Z and Steepani Mazda. Ben, thank you. We'll talk again soon. Enjoy the weekend. News is next.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Is the trade war with China about to escalate again? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump just posted on Truth Social, so much for being Mr. Nice Guy. After he made a trade deal to lower massive tariffs, he says devastated China and put it in grave economic danger. The president wrote in all caps that China has totally violated its agreement with the U.S. Republican Senator Mike Rounds just told Fox Business.
President is correct when he says I'm going to put tariffs on until we get a good, fair trade deal. We want free trade. We want fair trade. But it starts with putting the hammer down.
Now, the day after a federal trade court blocked some of the tariffs on Chinese imports and many other countries, Fox Business Network's Edward Lawrence says the appeals court stepped in to put that ruling on hold.
This is a win for the administration. Now, that ruling was stayed until at least June 9th. That's when the briefs can be done for that appeal. Now, this original ruling targeted the heart of President Trump's tariff policy.
And the president called that initial ruling horrific, damaging to the U.S. and a threat to presidential power. This afternoon, President Trump will give Elon Musk a big send-off as the Tesla CEO's tenure ends, leading the Department of Government Efficiency. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent tells Fox.
Doge is not going to end with Elon. It is a way of thinking about cutting costs.
Doge touts the savings at $175 billion. Musk's initial goal was $1 trillion or more. Democrats called Musk's work out of control and unconstitutional. We just got another inflation update, what's called the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index. And while there was a slight gain last month over March, the annual rate of inflation declined 0.2, down to 2.1%. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is in Singapore at a security forum with American allies in the region.
We're here to engage military to military, country to country. We can't account for whether or not China's here or not.
One topic being discussed there is Russia's war. Ukraine says it's ready to resume direct peace talks with Russia Monday in Turkey. America's listening to Fox News.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation.